2 weeks ago and controversy in Dallas.
Guess what day it is?
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minnix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Hump day.
Hump day!
Hump day.
Hump day!
Hump day.
Hump day!
Hump day.
Hump day!
Hump day.
Yeah. Happy Hump Day, everybody. Welcome to the Blitz. Here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It is great to be with you. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnix, a little bit under the weather today. Called in sick, so he's resting and recovering, hopefully. And hopefully we'll be back with us sooner rather than later. And wish him well. Will you do that? Say a prayer for old Jason and see if he can get well today and be back with us tomorrow. But until then, we have got a ton to talk about today, as always. But oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't hurt me. You can't hit me. I'm trying to take a shot.
I've been doing that since about, 9:30, 9:45 last night when I saw LeBron and Bronny come onto the floor. I just haven't gotten over it yet. It was so touching. It was touching to my heart. And I might cry. I might just interrupt into tears from time to time today, but bear with me. I'm sure you feel the same exact way, right? Oh, it was such a touching moment. So I don't know how to describe it. History made last night. Bronny and LeBron on the floor together for a whole 3 minutes. 3 minutes they were in the game together. And in that 3 minutes, Bronny bricks a three and gets stuffed by Rudy Gobert. And then, well, they got him the hell out of there as quick as they possibly could. And the Lakers do go on to win that game. Look, I'm kidding, obviously making a joke, because that what happened last night was a joke, an ultimate clown show. And it was a clown show put on specifically for one LeBron James. And you might say, hey, Joe, LeBron deserves it. With all the time that he's put in to the NBA, the star that he is, and maybe the second best player in NBA history, he deserves a moment in the sun. Now, I don't know about you, and maybe you feel a little bit differently than I do. James Pledger is here, by the way, and I know James did because I saw him a comment, I guess, on the Morning Huddle today saying it was a pretty cool moment. And I'm really not sure. I want to get him to explain that to me as to why that was a cool moment, because I really don't understand it. But I'd like to hear from you, honestly, on that, because to me it was just simply a made-for-TV movie. All for LeBron James. It was a staged event. And I'm not even talking about nepotism. This has nothing to do with that. Not at all. I get it. He's LeBron James. His kid is Bronny, LeBron James Jr., I get it. That's fine. Nepotism happens, and if he wants to put him on the Lakers want to draft him, that's fine. But last night, what happened last night was just it was a clown show, and the NBA, quite frankly, ought to be embarrassed. They really should be embarrassed today by what took place there. Of course, the play where the folks in LA, because they bow at the throne of LeBron James, just yay, woo, yay! This is the greatest thing ever. So they're going to do that because that's what they do, because LeBron owns the Lakers. He runs the Lakers, obviously. And what happened last night was just completely atrocious. Now, Pledge, explain to me why you thought it was a cool moment.
Hey, 4 minutes in, we got a clown show reference. So this show's already off to a fantastic start.
Dude,
right?
We'll be using that phrase a lot, I have a feeling, today.
But, and in case you missed it, we have the moment, so.
History tonight. The first father-son duo to play together in an NBA game. This is all in the family. And what a celebration
Yes.
for the James family.
It was.
Bronny's brother and sister, his mom on hand.
Great celebration for the James family. For everybody else, who gives a damn?
I thought it was cool.
What was cool about it?
By the way, call courtesy of TNT last night.
Okay.
You don't get to see that. Like, I get in baseball, you can. That's a thing because careers are longer in Major League Baseball. Players get there sooner when they're 18, 19. Players don't play this long in the NBA. So the fact that LeBron is old enough to even have a kid that can get into the league to play with them while he's still playing at such an elite level, really cool. And just in a father-son aspect, that was a really touching moment. Just in terms of being a human being.
You're killing me here.
No, I'm serious.
A touching moment.
It was. To be able to do something with your own son.
That's great. That's great. I mean, you take your son fishing. That's awesome. You could do that. Y'all could go camping. That'd be good. That'd be good. Take him to a ball game. That's fine, too. All of those things are great father-son activities. Bronny James does not belong in the NBA. We saw it again last night. He does not belong there at all. He shouldn't be there. And the only reason he is...
Trey Lance doesn't belong in the NFL, yet he is.
But his father didn't put him there. There's a difference. The only reason he's there is because of his father. He doesn't belong there. And he probably won't see the Los Angeles Lakers floor again. Probably won't see it. Wherever their G League team is where Bronny will be. Look, the only thing that you can say it's a fine moment if you want to, if it touched. But for me, it was a joke, and the NBA just did it. And I can't wait to see what the ratings were for TNT last night. I'm sure they were ginormous because, well, it's LeBron. But I just thought, my goodness, really, I just don't see where it didn't touch the heartstrings at all. And I'm watching this thing, and it's just like I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. Into the second quarter, I'm still waiting, and then finally. And then we saw why LeBron James Jr. doesn't belong in the NBA. Bricks a three, gets stuffed by Rudy Gobert, the Defensive Player of the Year, who shouldn't have been Defensive Player of the Year, but he was. Got a big extension, by the way, Rudy Gobert, and maybe it was because of that block on one Bronny James. But I just don't see what the big deal was. And if somebody wants to try and change my mind, his pledge didn't do a very good job. It was just cool. It was cool.
Yes,
and
it was cool for 5 seconds. That's what it was. I'm not saying that he deserves to be in the NBA. I'm not saying he's earned his way into the NBA. I'm not saying any of these things. But the moment in itself, by itself, alone, standing on its just on those principles, it was a cool moment to see a father and son together checking in NBA jerseys.
I'm touched.
You're right. He doesn't belong in the league.
I'm touched.
But a lot of people don't belong in the league that are in the league.
Well, this is true. There's a lot of leagues that people don't belong. Hey, look, if you
What
thought
do
it
you
was
think were Chris Collinsworth's kid on the Sunday Night Football broadcast?
I think it's ridiculous. He doesn't belong on the sidelines either. I will call him out. That's horrible. And Chris Collinsworth, for whatever reason, has pictures of somebody with a goat, apparently, because I don't know why his kid is there. But it was just, to me, it was just an orchestrated, made up, made for television, made for the James family event. And that's all it was. That's it. Now, if you want to tell me that LeBron deserves it, fine. I'll listen to that. He's a great basketball player, one of the greatest of all time. And if that moment for the James family is good and everybody shares in that joy, then that's fantastic. I, for one, don't. And I thought it was just a waste of everybody's time. And you notice the Lakers coaching staff got Bronny the hell out of there as quickly as they possibly could. Because, obviously the Lakers want to win basketball games. And well, they're not going to with Bronny James on the floor. So how did you feel about it? I'll take your comments, whether you're watching on YouTube or if you're driving around San Antonio or whatever app you happen to be on. You can call us here, too, at the radio station. And since I don't do this very often, Pledge, I got to look at the telephone number, 656-ESPN, 656-3776. Give me a call and let me know why you think it was a cool moment or not. I'd love to hear from you throughout the show, but we have got so much else going on today that I tell you what, and it all stems with the Dallas Cowboys, as always. More controversy in Dallas, thanks to a great article by ESPN. I'll get the girl's name that did it because she did a good job. I don't agree with her, and I don't agree with the premise of that, but I think she did a fantastic job, and we're going to get into that. Why Jerry Jones fan tours of the facility at the Star are, well, apparently, according to a lot of ex-players, is the reason why the Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl in, I don't know, almost 30 years. So, again, Jerry Jones is screwing up everything. We'll talk about that in detail coming up here in just a moment. Mike McCarthy, actually, the Cowboys got back to work today. Mike McCarthy held a press conference, had to address the comments that Jerry Jones made yesterday about the bad calls and bad concepts. So he responds to that. We'll hear from him. We'll also hear from him about Micah Parsons and Deron Bland and their chances of playing against San Francisco this Sunday. So a lot coming up as we get into this. And, of course, the big trade today, DeAndre Hopkins going to the Kansas City Chiefs for a fifth-round draft pick that could ultimately turn into a fourth-round draft pick. However, the Tennessee Titans, I'm told, are going to keep paying DeAndre. They kept most of his salary to facilitate that trade. So, obviously, the Titans now are in tank mode, as are a lot of teams already in the NFL. So, a lot to get into, a lot to talk about. We've got Aaron Rodgers eating his own boogers. We're going to talk about that too. So it's a fun-filled, fast show that's going to tug at your heartstrings, and you're just going to have a great time. So don't touch that dial. Don't touch that dial. This is the Blitz. Again, if you haven't heard, you're just joining us. Jason Minnix is a little bit under the weather today, so he's taking the day off, and we will proceed without him. James Pledger is here. We'll hear from Pledge throughout the show as well, and hopefully we will hear from you as well. This is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When you need an electrician, you know Hill Electric is available
One-on-one
for
with
residential and commercial needs. I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my house through the years. Extra outlets in the garage. They put a spotlight over one of the grills outside, dimmer lights in the living room. You need lights moved. You need USB ports added. Whatever the case is, whatever your project is, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price. There is never a service charge, and they always offer free estimates, so it costs you absolutely nothing to figure out what it will take to get a project done. Whether it's for your office, whether it's for your home, call Hill Electric, 210-404-9074, 404-9074, or go online, hill-electric.com.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one and has some fun with the morning huddles. AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
Now, you don't got a contract. You got nothing to lose. Is a 70-yard field goal in the offing soon? Will we see that this year?
Well, it depends on the win this week.
Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jason Minnix here from the Blitz for Underdog Fantasy, the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while watching games. I love playing the Pick'em game where you choose higher or lower on player stats, especially this time of year with football. Obviously, basketball getting started, and right now, Underdog, they're running a special promo or bonus almost every single day like Profit Boost, where you can pump up your winnings in just a tap when you apply the boost to eligible entries, discounts where you'll get adjusted projections on certain player stats to give you a better chance at the win. Free picks, they're basically a sure thing. A player just has to get higher than 0.5 on that stat for that pick to win. All new users get a free pick, and it's boost over from now until October 27th. You can boost your profit on all NBA entries by 20%. Underdog is literally giving you unlimited profit boost to make basketball picks. Download the app, sign up with promo code STAR, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code STAR at Underdog Fantasy.
Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie, and one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
After you use Bounce Dryer sheets and realize how fresh, soft, less wrinkled, and less staticky your laundry can be, you'll put a sheet on it every time. Like those socks that smell like they've been through a marathon. Put a sheet on it. Or that blanket that's got wrinkles on its wrinkles. Put a sheet on it. Maybe even your chatty coworker who keeps distracting you. Okay, Bounce Dryer sheets can't do it all. But for fresher, softer, better laundry, put a sheet on it with Bounce.
Hi, everyone. If you or someone you know were diagnosed with lung cancer or mesothelioma, listen up, because you could be entitled to significant compensation. We have legal professionals standing by right now to take your call, and they'll tell you if you qualify for a cash settlement. Call 800-570-0200. That's 800-570-0200. Call now and find out how much money you could potentially get.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
911, what's your emergency?
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. In San Antonio, 5 domestic violence calls happen every hour.
The time to end domestic violence in our community is now.
Step out of violence.
You are not alone.
Call 211 for help. Call 911 if it's an emergency.
Howdy, Ags. Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Aggies, inviting you to watch all A&M games at the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road. Owned by Chip Ingram, class of '98, the Angry Elephant is known for their liberal cocktails at conservative prices and the best hot dog in Texas. Since 2012, the Angry Elephant's been the place to watch A&M, and this year is no different. Just down from the Big Blind, right next to the Rue Pub at 281 and Redland Road. The Angry Elephant. Like your bar, love your Aggies. Gig 'em.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon at 6:30. It's a matchup between two undefeated conference opponents as the Aggies take on the LSU Tigers. Presented by Ewald Kubota and the Angry Elephant. Pre-game coverage begins at 5:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Let's get wild. Well, it's just the Blitz with Joe today. Jason, a little bit under the weather, taking the day off to try and recover. Hopefully he'll be back sooner rather than later. But we will carry on. James Pledger is pushing the buttons in there in the new and improved glass box of fun. So we'll hear from James coming up, too. Hey, and don't forget, tomorrow the Blitz is going to be live out at Little Woodrow's on Braun Road, getting you ready for Thursday Night Football between Minnesota and Los Angeles, all courtesy of Flight by Yingling. Our friends from Flight by Yingling will be there, and you know they always bring prizes and all of that stuff. Plus, you're going to have your chance to win passes to the Bill Bates Ultimate Tailgate Party for November 10th, plus tickets to the Dallas-Philadelphia game in Arlington that day, all brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. We also have one of those schwanky replica Texas Rangers championship rings I'll be giving away at some point in time. Not sure exactly how I'm going to do that yet, but we'll think on it, and then we'll figure it out as we move forward here on the show. Thanks for being with us, however you're listening and watching or whatever it is you're doing. If you're joining us on YouTube, we appreciate that. You can comment there. You can also get me on Twitter at Joe Reinagel 210, or the phone lines are always open at 656-ESPN, 656-3776. We're going to talk a lot of Dallas Cowboys because, again, well, they always make news, and this is exactly what they do. Mike McCarthy and the team got back to work today as they prepare for the San Francisco 49ers coming up here on Sunday night. And McCarthy had some, I don't know, not explaining, but some responding to do. Because if you recall, if you were with us yesterday, Jerry Jones went back to the radio on 105.3 The Fan there in Dallas, as he does every Tuesday, and he made this comment.
Well, we're designing bad plays, or we're designing bad concepts. The facts are that there's some of that, but there's also some of execution.
Well, you know damn good and well that the media there on hand at the Star in Frisco was going to ask Mike McCarthy about that, and, well, they did.
Don't really have one. I talk to Jerry all the time. We've had time to go through the self-scout, so I can't really I didn't see the comments specifically, so but I don't think we have bad concepts in bad place. But I'll go back and check. But we're not where we want to be. I mean, that's clearly, and that ultimately is my responsibility, and I'm fully aware of that. But we are very diligent. We're on top of what we want to do. And just like anything, I just came from a walkthrough, and it's just, walkthroughs have been good, but it always goes back to communication. So, I mean, just going back to the Detroit game, it's the first run of the game. We practiced it a number of times. Got the look we're expecting, and we had the wrong declaration, based on communication. So at the end of it, we just got to tighten up our communication and make sure our guys are playing fast and the ability to play faster than the opponent. And with that comes confidence, and I think that's what we're clearly working towards, and that's what we want to do Sunday night and get that win.
So many things to digest there from what Mike McCarthy said. He doesn't think that they have bad plays and concepts. We were talking yesterday that, there are times when he does, when plays just don't seem to be there. And maybe it is a little bit about the confidence of the team right now and the speed of the team. McCarthy also mentioned that, and there's been a lot of criticism, specifically from Troy Aikman, former Cowboy quarterback, about the wide receivers not doing what they're supposed to do and bad route running. So a lot of criticism on many different fronts for the Dallas Cowboys. But the fact of the matter is they're in a situation where the next two games are the two most important games of the season. Now, obviously that's true because they're the next two games of the season. But if they win those two, then the Cowboys can look forward and maybe even be buyers before the trade deadline, which would be pretty soon right after that. If they lose both of them, you could see the Cowboys perhaps being sellers in the trade market. That could happen because, look, if they go in 3-5, not that their season would completely be over, but with the remaining schedule that they have, it would be very difficult to do that. And again, a lot depends on what Washington and Philadelphia do as well. But I think these next two games are very important. So bad plays and bad concepts will not get it done in San Francisco. I don't care how badly the 49ers are banged up. Cowboys have been banged up as well, and that's been an issue. A couple of big players who may or may not be back this Sunday night. One of them is Micah Parsons. The other is DeRon Bland. McCarthy addressed that today.
Yeah, Micah will be in the rehab group. DeRon will start off with the anticipation of going, practice in a limited process. So I know Brett wants to still get some more work with him. So who else you got?
Kendricks would probably fall in there.
He's limited.
He's limited. Okay, so there's still it looks like DeRon Bland is ahead of Micah Parsons for sure, just judging by those comments. And then Kendricks, who knows? He's going to be limited today. One thing I did want to touch on, though, and I thought this was interesting, because Mike McCarthy today was asked about turnovers, and in specific, Dak Prescott's turnovers. This is what he had to say.
Well, I mean, obviously those statistics don't help for an overall, performance. But yeah, I think clearly, number one, we're -6 in the turnover ratio. So that's the huge blinking light for us. And I think just like anything in the game of football, where you put your time, the time on task, taking care of the football, taking it away, and we've added some drills today. It's just like anything. You have so much time, but you got to move the emphasis around because that's the lowest of our time here, and it's unacceptable. So we got to take care of the football, and everybody understands that. So, but I mean, there's a lot of other positive things that he's obviously does with the offense, the management of the offense. The moving pieces that go on. That all falls under the management of the quarterback. I think having a rookie center, I think our cadence has gotten off to a really good start this year, and that has been a struggle in past years. So I think all those things that don't show up on the stat sheet is part of playing quarterback in this league. So damn excited and glad he's our quarterback.
It is a legitimate question though. And it even surprises me, believe it or not. Dak Prescott has 6 interceptions thus far this year. So 1 per game is what Dak is averaging. And some of those have been really at inconvenient times, right? When the Cowboys had some momentum going and they Dak turns the ball over. And whether it's – see, I hear Minnix in my ear already. Well, they're not all Dak's fault. Maybe the receiver ran the wrong route. Bounced off his hand. Sorry, Jason, I had to throw that in there. But he has thrown 6 picks. That is on his record, and they've been at some inopportune times. That is for sure. Cowboys, again, the next 2 games, pretty big. What are your thoughts on Dallas? There's always something going on. When you got Jerry Jones talking, and I know a lot of you are going to be quick to jump on Jerry Jones with not only his comments yesterday about bad plays and concepts, but with what we're going to talk about in the next segment, the fan tours there at the Star. But, you can blame Jerry, and people will blame Jerry till the moon. But I just don't think it's all Jerry's fault. He has a lot to do with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to let him off the hook completely, but not all of this is Jerry's fault. What do you think? 656-3776, 656-ESPN. You can comment there if you're watching on YouTube. We appreciate that. Like and subscribe to our YouTube page there if you would. Also our Instagram page if you do that, because that's how we're going to give that ring away coming up in just a little bit. So let's go to the phone lines right now. Mike wants to talk Cowboys. Mike, what's going on?
Yeah, how you doing? Hey, listen, what I seen in the Cowboy game a couple of weeks ago when the Cowboys lost to the who they played, was the Detroit Lions?
Yeah.
I think it was the last game. It told me, listen, I played football my whole life. I played college football, and I never made it to the professional level. But I watched a lot of professional games. What I seen told me everything I need to know about the Cowboys. After they lost that game, Jerry Jones was walking back to the locker room with the team like you would have thought that he was one of the players. He was the very first one in line, including his son and then some other guy. And Mike McCarthy was walking behind him, Dak Prescott. What is Jerry Jones doing going into the locker room? He's the owner of the team. Yes, he's the owner, but he has no business in the locker room. That needs to be Mike McCarthy. He's the one that needs to address the team and their performance, not Jerry Jones. And Jerry Jones will always have a yes-man coach like McCartney and Garrett like in front of him. He'll never have a Jerry Jones. Bill Belichick will never step foot in Dallas because because Jerry Jones can't keep his nose out of the play. Jerry Jones' job is a general manager. He's supposed to bring in players. Now let me address that right quick. We've had three wide receivers change teams in the last couple of days. The Dallas Cowboys need a second receiver. Jerry Jones has not. He's the richest owner in football. He hasn't attempted to get his hands on not one of these receivers. Kansas City Chiefs just improved the team even more today with the acquisition of Hopkins. There was no reason why Jerry Jones couldn't have tried to get his hands on that guy. Jerry Jones does not have a commitment to winning. Only thing he has a commitment to is making money, and that's a damn shame. You can't do both. He either wants to win or he wants to make money, and it's obvious that he wants to make money. And I thank you for taking my call.
Mike, I appreciate the call, my friend. You are passionate, that's for sure, as are most Cowboy fans, and I appreciate the passion there as well. Again, Jerry Jones is a target of just about every Cowboy fan. And then look, in some of the things he does, he deserves it. I can't defend him entirely. But then again, I know that there have been some teams that he's assembled, like last year, that had a real opportunity to do something, and then they get whacked in the Green Bay game at home, the first game of the playoffs. And so that wasn't Jerry Jones' fault. But there's going to be a lot to criticize Jerry on. That is for sure. Do we need to go back to the phone line here, Pledge? I think he's still talking. We got it. If you want to call in and respond, as Mike did so passionately, I really appreciate that. 656-ESPN, 656-3776. That's how you do it. On Twitter, at Joe Reinagel 210, or on YouTube. Go to our YouTube page. You got to check that out because there's a nice community in there of people that have conversations and everything else. Let's go back to the phone lines before we go to the break. Husky. I like that name, Husky. What's on your
Let's
mind,
go.
Husky? What's happening?
First of all, I'd like to send a shout-out to all the Holmes Huskies. I'm a class of 85.
That explains it. All right. What's going on, Husky? What's on your mind?
Anyway, listen, Joe. I've been to every home game this year. So, first of all, maybe I need to stop going because we haven't won one yet.
Yeah, you and Minnix both.
Yeah, but you know what, Joe? I'm an old school. Obviously, I'm a 60s baby. But I've been a Cowboys fan my whole life. I went to my first game in 1976. Okay, so and I fell in love with them ever since. But I'm tired of everybody blaming Jerry Jones, man. Come on, I'm tired of it, bro. Last time I heard, he didn't suit up, and he's done everything in his power. It hasn't always worked out, Joe, but he's done everything. He wants to win just as bad as I do, and I really feel that.
All right, Husky, I appreciate the phone call. I can't disagree entirely with what he had to say. I think Jerry gets too much of the criticism sometimes, but I know that I'm about to throw wood on the fire of the Jerry Jones criticism because of what I'm about to do right now. There was an article today. It came out on ESPN, and it's a great article. It's well done. It is Kaylin Kaler is the young lady that wrote this article, and it's all about the Dallas Cowboys fan tours. The Cowboys have fan tours there at the Star in Frisco, and you've heard from some former players that are with other teams now that are saying, it's a lot different and a lot better. One of those being Dalton Schultz. He was one of the first that came out and said something when he left the Cowboys and went to the Houston Texans last year. And now there's an article about this, and the headline, are Jerry Jones fan tours a hurdle to a Cowboys Super Bowl? We'll get into that when we return here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, NFL is back. We're talking Vikings and Rams.
And the Spurs start their season. We'll preview it all. Morning Huddle starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
The Halloween parties at the Roof Pub have become legendary. Plan now for the biggest and best Halloween party in San Antonio this Friday. Kick off the party weekend at the 11th annual Halloween party with DJs inside the Roof Pub and Angry Elephant at 281 in Redland Road. No cover charge and a $1,000 costume contest at midnight. This is the Halloween party you don't want to miss. This Friday night, the Halloween party of the year. We'll see you at the Roo and wear a costume.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? I guarantee she does. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. If you're considering divorce, it's absolutely crucial to understand your options right now. Don't let alimony catch you off guard. Protect what you've built and secure your hard-earned assets. Visit TexasDivorce.com. At Barton & Associates, we focus on navigating the complexities of divorce law to ensure you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Take control of the process or allow your spouse to dictate the terms. If you're serious about safeguarding what you have built and your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team for you. We'll act swiftly and decisively, ensuring that you're not taken advantage of. Call Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio. Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks, my daily fantasy game. In fact, mine and 10 million others are playing this every day because we know what we're doing. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on your sports action. Join me and so many others playing every day. You know why? Prize Picks invented FlexPay, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. Look, you know your sports. How many yards is CeeDee Lamb going to get this week? Is Jonathan Taylor going to get 85 or more? You know what you're doing. Go make your play. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which players aren't? You know you play fantasy football. Put your knowledge to work. And remember, use the code Alamo and there's $50 in it for you. Download the app now. Use Alamo. Play with your friends. It's the best way to have fun and get yourself in the game. Remember, Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can add to big payouts. Download the app today. Prize Picks. Run your game.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station when you buy a Connecticut water softener. A free drinking water system installed at your kitchen sink with the cleanest, best tasting water you've ever had. Better for your coffee maker, better for cooking, better for everything. Free with the purchase of a Connecticut water softener, but only for a limited time.
Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy.
And is the last water softener you'll ever own. Right now, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking water station when you buy a Connecticut water softener. This is a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call us at 656-PURE.
Check them out at ConnecticutSA.com and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE. Connecticut.
What's up? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Oh, happy Wednesday, everybody. Glad you could make some time for us today. This is The Blitz. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnix, a little under the weather today. He's at home recuperating. We will get him back at some point in time, hopefully sooner rather than later. But we got so much to talk about today, as per usual, this time of year. And a lot of it, again, is about the Dallas Cowboys because there's always something going on, whether it's Jerry yelling at radio hosts and threatening to fire them or today, his fan tours are the controversy du jour. An article written by ESPN that's a very good article. It's well done. And the reason I say it's well done, I don't agree with the concept of it, but it's well done because there's no opinion by the writer. The writer she writes the story. She says what some former players have said and what's going on and how it's going on there at the Star in Frisco. Kaylin Kaler of ESPN wrote this article, and it's causing quite a bit of stir today. There's no question about that because we first heard about this from Dalton Schultz. It was last year after he left the Cowboys and became part of the Houston Texans. He was doing an interview, and he basically said it was like being in a zoo.
No, dude, it's just like there's people literally going on tours while you're lifting in the weight room, and they've got like a one-way mirror for people to like look at. Like it's literally, it's a zoo, dude. Like, there's people tapping on the glass, like trying to get people's attention as they're doing, power cleans or whatnot. And it's different. And I mean, that's the brand that they've built. That's what Jerry Jones likes. That's the way that they run things. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, you don't realize like how many eyeballs and how much that can maybe distract from, stuff just in the locker room, being in the facility, until you go somewhere else and you're like, holy crap, like, dude, there's none of that. This is also a really well-run organization in Houston.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. It hadn't done you much good, though, has it? Dalton Schultz not exactly setting the world on fire in Houston, but I digress. He thinks it's a zoo, and a lot of players are agreeing with him. A lot of former players are agreeing with him as they leave off and go to other teams. Dante Fowler's one. Kelvin Joseph is another that I see. Tony Pollard has chimed in on this article as well. Dorrance Armstrong has chimed in on this. So a lot of former players that are obviously played for the Cowboys that no longer do are chiming in on this and saying that what a distraction it is. Even Mike McCarthy, to some extent, from his comments on Monday at his press conference, kind of intimated there might be some distractions.
You address them as a whole because it's all part of that external focus that, frankly, we need to move away from, frankly. I mean, if anything, working here, the intensity of externals and potential distractions is high. That's part of our part of our operation. Green Bay was cold. I mean, everybody has something, that you have that's probably different than other places you work. So that's part of our norm. The external noise or pro or con, it's we prefer the pro, but it's part of working here and it's part of our landscape.
The Dallas has tours, Green Bay has cold, and I'm sure we could find something for every NFL team. It's interesting that what they do, if you go up to the Star in Dallas, they have several a day, $40 to take the tour of the Star in Frisco, and you can take the tour while the players are there. There are some ground rules, we understand from this article, that you can't yell out to the players. You can't take pictures of them unless they come up to you. Now, if they come up to you, you can talk to them and you can take pictures with them. But you're not supposed to make a lot of noise. You're not supposed to cause a lot of, oh my goodness, there's Dak Prescott. Dak! You're not supposed to be able to do that. That's for $40. For $75, you can actually get lunch there at the Star at one of the restaurants. You get a little coupon for that. And then there's another one that's like $90 that you get some frills and stuff as well. But these tours go on Monday through Friday at the Star there in Frisco while the players are there, either lifting weights or doing whatever else they're doing. One thing in this article told a story of Micah Parsons, I guess, holding up his daughter, and according to this article, nobody bothered him, but it was a cute thing to see. Micah Parsons apparently doesn't bother him. He came out today. Our good friend RJ Ochoa had this on Twitter. It was the article on Twitter, and Micah actually responded to that on Twitter, and there's some words that I can't say. But he goes on to say that there are some people that just can't handle the bright lights. Now, that's from Micah Parsons. That's how he feels about it. And so, obviously, it doesn't bother him. But I'm just curious because I've got some thoughts on this, which obviously I'm going to share with you. But I'd love for you guys to share with me as well what your thoughts are. The first thing that I think is ridiculous is that a fan tour, could impede the Cowboys to winning a Super Bowl. That to me is ridiculous, and the headline is the worst part of that story. I don't think having fans tour your facility is going to impede anything when it comes to winning a Super Bowl. Secondly, these players that are whining about the distractions, I want to ask you something. Wherever you work, whatever it is that you do for a living, are there not distractions in your workplace ever? Does nobody come in? Is there not loud noise, maybe some music coming from a cubicle, whatever the case may be? Here at the radio station, we have tours all the time, people coming in. We have winners that win prizes that come into the studio during the show, typically when we're on a commercial break. But we take pictures, we say hello, we talk, and it's just what you do. It's what we do. So I want to ask you the question. Why is being an NFL football player, why is it so different that somebody's watching you lift weights? And why does that distract you? I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. I go to the gym. Pledge, I know you go to the gym. I know there are distractions there all the time. Ray, my buddy Ray, he's a distraction. My brother, he's a distraction. But you get your work in. You get your job done. And I don't understand. So somebody please help me with this because I just don't understand how tours are that big of a distraction. What are you going to do? You just keep doing what you're doing. Nobody's telling you not to. Nobody's throwing anything at you. Nobody's telling you to come here. Nobody's doing any of that kind of stuff. Why is it a distraction? I keep hearing, and I've heard it from a couple of people, Dalton Schultz being one, that it's like a zoo. Okay, and so what? You're a professional football player. What is it like when you're playing football on Sunday afternoon and all those people are watching you? Is that like a zoo? I mean, I don't understand the difference. I really don't understand the difference. And I know you got the smirk on your face over there, Pledge. I get it. You don't agree with me, so I'm going to give you some time to explain yourself.
Look, I just think it's a part of the bigger problem in Dallas.
Uh-huh.
And that's the culture.
Okay.
The culture is Jerry Jones down, and Jerry Jones sets that culture. And the tours during the workout are just part of an overarching issue that stems throughout the entire Cowboys organization. Nowhere else does any other team go through this. Nowhere else does any other team have to answer to what the owner said to the media twice a week on a radio show. Just little distractions that a lot of teams are looking to block out the noise of external to galvanize themselves in a locker room. And the Cowboys bring in all the outside noise and comments and distractions and people and anything else that they can that take away from them being able to zero in on something. Yes, everybody has stuff that they have to deal with at work at times, but not like in Dallas. In Dallas, it's just different. And sure, some people can block that out. It's not everybody's built the exact same way. And you can't find 53 people that have the same core values. Michael Irvin talked about finding the carrot that really motivated a player. I know in the gym, I get a lot more done when there's less people in there just because of lack of external noise. And I get better workouts isolated. That's just me. Some people can push through that noise. Some people can't. ADHD is a real thing. Football players probably have it. Like, everybody's different. People handle things differently. But for the most part, most teams try and block out as much noise as they can. Where on the other side, the Cowboys try and bring in all the noise that they can at once. And a distraction's a distraction. We all have to deal with them, but you try to limit as many as you can to prevent blocking your way towards the goal you're trying to achieve. I know that here in this station, people have been talked about stop going into the producer's room and distracting Pledge during the show. That's been a real thing that has been said because it is a distraction and it does sometimes take away.
Okay. A lot to address there, Pledge, and I wanted you to get all of that off your chest, and I want to address it all. First of all, you and I, we deal with it. We're not making millions of dollars. And I say that, and I think it's important. I think it's important. The reason those players are making the money that they're making are because of those fans. A big part of it, whether they're in person or watching on television. That's why they make the money that they make. So without those people that are coming to see them and wanting to see them and wanting to be with them, they wouldn't make the money that they're making now. The game is entertainment. It's an entertainment business. That's what it is. Jerry Jones, he's got the richest franchise in professional sports because he is a salesman and because he does that. And if you're coming to the Dallas Cowboys, I would hope that you would know what you're getting into, because I would bet, and I'd like to take a poll, Ryan, we can't do this, but I'd like to take a poll for everybody that's played for the Dallas Cowboys that has been successful with the Dallas Cowboys. Would they trade that for anything else? And I bet you 80% of those players would say absolutely not. Dak Prescott, with all the crap that he deals with, the benefits so outweigh anything else that he has to put up with because of the money that he makes and the prestige that he has. Whether people criticize him or praise him, either one, it doesn't make any difference. You're a member of the Dallas Cowboys. You just went to Hollywood, and you better know that. And if you can't handle it, get out and go somewhere else. And maybe that's why some of these players do. I find it fascinating and funny that professional athletes complain because somebody's watching them work out. It just baffles me. And that's really all they're doing. Or they're walking around the facility. They're not doing anything. You're not in on team meetings, copying down plays. You're not sitting there while they're watching film. They don't bring tours into the film room. It is really, to me, just comical. And while I think this article is interesting, I think it is basically just another thing to throw a rock at the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones.
I'll spin it this way then.
All right, spin it.
You got to get the right players in, right? You got to get the players that can block out the distractions and what. Does that not fall on Jerry Jones then for bringing in the wrong players?
Well, how are you going to know that? Hey, before we sign you, do you mind if we have tours at the facility? I mean, come on, how are you going to do that? Do you play football or not?
But isn't part of
That's
scouting,
not on Jerry Jones to ask these guys whether they can deal with the distraction of a fan coming through on a tour?
Isn't part of the scouting process, whether it's free agency or the draft, is to determine the mental makeup of a player?
Sure. Well, and the players that are complaining, as you've noticed in this article, are players that are ex-Dallas Cowboys. Because Micah Parsons disagrees with those players completely. In fact, he has said the bright lights are just too big for some people. The Dalton Schultz, the Javon Curse, the other players that we mentioned, the Tony Pollard, they're not there anymore. They're not there because they didn't want to be. They want to be. Tony Pollard didn't want to go to Tennessee. He went to Tennessee because they offered him more money than the Dallas Cowboys were going to offer him. Most of those players that had the chance to come back to Dallas, I guarantee you they would come back to Dallas. This to me is just another rock thrown at Jerry Jones for absolutely no reason. That's my opinion of this thing. I'd love to hear what your opinion. You've heard from Pledge. What's your opinion? 656-3776, 656-ESPN. If you're watching on YouTube, we got a lot of comments on the YouTube page that you guys have already chimed in on. Noe says they're professional, deal with it. Corwin Taylor says we have unique pieces on offense that aren't being used. Turpin should be used. Okay. Pledge sounds like a guy that uses wipes instead of toilet paper because he's rough, soft. Mike,
that's you.
Yeah, that's me.
That's you, Jim.
I use wipes, okay? I'm just reading these cold, so I don't know what they're actually saying, so I'll be careful of the language on here. Yes, Corwin Taylor says sour grapes. Look, I really think this article, as well done as it is, and I think it's well done. Again, she doesn't throw her opinion in there. I think it's a hit piece on Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. That's exactly what it is. She found a bunch of ex-players that don't like it and she quoted them, and I think it's a hit piece. That's all this is a hit piece on Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys when they're, I would say, down right now with all the controversy of Jerry Jones and the radio hosts, with the comments Jerry made yesterday calling out his coach, with the Troy Aikman comments, calling out the wide receivers and the routes that they aren't running properly. All of that is just an avalanche on the Dallas Cowboys right now. And while I'm not per se a Cowboy fan, I am a Jerry Jones fan. And I just think this is a complete hit piece on Jerry Jones.
It's obvious you're a Jerry Jones fan because you're defending him like Jason defends Dak.
No, I just think that this is there's nothing wrong with tours in a facility. If that's a defense of Jerry Jones, I'm guilty. But I just don't see what the problem is and why players have such a problem with tours, with fans that love and adore them, want to just gawk at them for a few minutes.
I think it's the integration of it because all teams make their players available in some way, shape, or form to the public, whether it's public events or going out, signing autographs, whatever it may do. Everybody makes them available. That's why the NFL is what it is.
Sure.
It's like there's no separation with the Dallas Cowboys. There's no separation of football and fandom. They blend it all together, and there's most teams find a way to separate the football from the actual This is the PR side of things. This is, you're doing a public event today. You're doing this today. You're doing these different things. There's no separation with the Dallas Cowboys from football stuff to fan stuff, and maybe it can be distracting to some people.
Well, obviously it is, and most, again, are ex-players. I think it's brilliant, and I think it's fantastic, and if you can't handle it, then maybe you should go play for somebody else's team. You're not going to do that because I guarantee you everybody that's on that roster right now is loving being on the Dallas Cowboys and wearing a star on their helmet and having every prime time slot that there is on every television station every Sunday or Monday night, Sunday night in this case, where you've got a 3-4 team and a 3-3 team getting the spotlight on NBC when they absolutely shouldn't. You should have Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams playing on Sunday night, Washington against Chicago. That's what people would probably want to see. But guess what? People are going to tune in because it's the Dallas Cowboys, and that is squarely because of one Jerry Jones. Absolutely. I'll continue to take your comments, and I appreciate them. At Joe Reinagel 210 on Twitter. If you want to reach me there. If you want to call, I'll give you the phone numbers one more time. 656-ESPN. 656-3776. Let me know what you think. And I know a lot of you think it's Jerry's fault, and a lot of it is. He's done a lot of things that he shouldn't be doing. He probably shouldn't be GM completely, have the final say, yada, yada, yada. I've heard it all. But tours, distracting your players, an impediment to a Super Bowl, cry me a river and go jump in a lake. We'll come back here on the Blitz here on 94.1. San Antonio Sports Star.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville. If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
How was Grandpa duty over the weekend?
It wasn't that bad. Fortunately, put a life preserver on him and throw him in the pool. So it's kind of what? So you know what I mean? It's like I swam with him pretty much all day on Saturday.
You swam with him, or you were in the same pool?
Well, I was in the pool.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. It's called the HURT app, and it provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. HURT is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download HURT now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. You can find the HURT app in the App Store and Google Play, and you can learn more about the HURT app and the Ortho Now Injury Clinic online at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
Joel, don't you just love Halloween?
It's okay, but I do like your troll costume.
I'm not wearing a costume.
Folks, if your home's AC starts making those witching sounds or the pipes in your walls start moaning and clanging like ghosts having a party, call Quarter Moon at 651-5899, and we'll send our team of highly trained
Ghostbusters!
I was gonna say technicians.
I ain't afraid of no clogs.
Quarter Moon Plumbing and AC, 651-5899. License number TACLA 141074E, M16004.
House of Cards and Collectibles is having a huge 10th anniversary sale this Saturday. Thousands of unsorted sports cards will be on sale along with discounted card supplies. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, One Piece, and Lorcana will also be sale priced. Bring the kids for the costume contest, take pictures with Pikachu, and free door prizes every hour. Remember, this Saturday, doors open at 12 noon. House of Cards and Collectibles at 2105 Vance Jackson. See you there.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
The 149th Fighter Wing of the Texas Air National Guard is hiring both full and part-time positions with over 180 different career choices, including cyber, healthcare, communications, avionics, electronics, and more. The Texas Air National Guard offers a variety of ways you can serve. Earn education benefits that would cover tuition towards a bachelor's degree. To learn more, Google the 149th Fighter Wing. That's the 149th Fighter Wing of the Texas Air National Guard.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-550-8841. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-550-8841. That's 800-550-8841.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
AJ Hoffman here for Underdog, the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while watching sports. It's so simple. You just pick higher or lower on a few stats, and boom, you're in the money. I'm so excited for basketball because it provides so many opportunities to win. This season, Underdog's going to be running a special, a promo, or a bonus almost every single day, like Profit Boost. You can pump up your winnings in just a tap when you apply the boost to eligible entries. Discounts, where you'll get an adjusted projection on certain players' stats to give you a better shot at a big win. Or free picks. They're basically a sure thing. A player just has to get higher than a half a point for that pick to win. Plus, all new users get a free pick. It's currently Boostober from now until October 27th. You can boost your profit on all NBA entries by 20%. Underdog's literally giving you unlimited profit boosts to make basketball picks. Download the app, sign up with promo code ALAMO, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code ALAMO. Must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to USASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an Audience National contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the big news in the NFL today, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tennessee Titans made a deal that's going to send veteran wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins to the Chiefs in exchange for a fifth-round draft pick that could ultimately turn into a fourth-round pick. Houston Texans added former Pro Bowl linebacker Devin White, signed with the Eagles in the offseason to a one-year deal, but they released him 2 weeks ago. And that controversy in Dallas about fan tours.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Guess what day it is?
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minnix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Hump day.
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 Yeah, I love that camel. I do. I really do. Happy Hump Day, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. Appreciate you joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. However you are doing that, whether you're watching on YouTube, watching and listening on YouTube, listening, driving around San Antonio, this beautiful city, or wherever you happen to be, or whatever app you're on, thank you all very much for doing so. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnix has the day off because he's a little bit under the weather today. So he's trying to get well and heal up and get back as quickly as he possibly can. So he's resting up today. So wish Jason well. Uh-oh.
I think I'm getting the black lung, Bob.
I think he said something about that, the black lung. I'm not sure, but man, he was all stuffy and sneezing his head off yesterday when he left the studio. So, text this morning and said, man, I just can't make it today, and it's okay because he's missing out, but that's okay because we got a lot to talk about. We've been talking a lot about Jerry Jones and the controversy stirred up by ESPN in an article today that they have written about Jerry's fan tours and a lot of former players calling out the Dallas Cowboys about what a distraction that is. I want to stay on the topic for just a minute because we've got somebody on our phone lines at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Jesse, welcome to the Blitz, and you say that you have been on one of these fan tours. Is that correct?
Yes. Good afternoon, Joe. Yeah, I just went to a tour the week after the Detroit game, and it was on a Tuesday. And my wife and I, we went, and we paid for the big one, the $90 one with the whole, they gave you a gift bag, a goodie bag, and you took the tour. But the instructions, what I was telling Pledge, is that they tell us, like, at no time are we supposed to interact with the players when they're there. Like you said, if they talk to you, they can talk to you. We cannot take pictures of them if they're moving or talking. No pictures. It's basically, it's a facility where people are working in there. But if there's somebody there, you have to wait off to the side. You let them pass by. You don't bother them. So there were people there, and actually the point that I was trying to make was when you go to the weight room, it's almost like a fogged up mirror. You can only see the very top, so you can't actually see the players when they're working out because it's like a two-sided mirror almost, like you can't see them. We walked around, but they didn't even let us go past that part because there were some Cowboys there that they were working out. So I don't know if they just recently changed that rule or what, but they didn't even let us go into where the gym was at, where they were working. But there were some players there that were eating. There were some people that were walking around, people that worked there, but at no time were we able to talk to them or anything else. I mean, the tour is awesome. Don't get me wrong. As a Cowboy fan, we went there. We had a great time. It's an experience. And I think anybody who's going to play for the Cowboys, I think they should know also that you're also standing for the brand and the way Jerry is trying to promote everything. I think that's one thing that you're actually going to have to, kind of accommodate with playing with the Dallas Cowboys, I think,
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Jesse. I'm curious, though, because the $90 one that you paid for, don't you get to ask AI Jerry a question?
You do, yeah. It actually it's kind of freaky the way it looks. It looks real, and you sit up there and everything else. But, I mean, it's a really neat tour. I think, like, just to separate it from – I don't think anybody else in the league does it, but I mean, he does it right, and you're able to interact with the stuff, go up to the press conference, go into the, the facility. That's the first time I've ever been in there. It's state of the art in there. I mean, it's really nice, even after it's been open for so long, but it's really nice in there, I mean, I would pay again to go and see it again.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. There's no doubt about it. I've been there several times. It is a gorgeous place. There's no question. Jesse, I appreciate you shedding some light on what happens when you take a tour there with the Dallas Cowboys. So it sounds like to me, listening to Jesse, that the only time that you have a chance to distract the players is when they're walking around. Give me a break. Give me a break. I dislike Dalton Schultz all that much more now. I really do. What a donkey that guy is. What a donkey. Man, I'm glad he left, even more so now because they've got a much better tight end now in Jake Ferguson than they ever had in Dalton Schultz. You can have him, Pledge.
I mean, they're having the same type of season.
You can have him, Pledge. It's all yours, Dalton Schultz. Hey, let's do the headline blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
Yeah, this is the Headline Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. And I got to ask you guys a question. The game that the Jets played, the last one that they played, Aaron Rodgers was caught on camera on the Jumbotron, and it looked like he picked his nose and ate a booger. Okay, that's what it looked like on camera. And I've had an opportunity, not that I wanted to, but it's research for the show, to watch that video again today. And he eats his booger. I mean, the dude eats a booger. Okay, he claims that he didn't. He was on the Pat McAfee show yesterday, and, well, they talked about Boogergate.
I don't like you trying to dodge the question here. Okay, I don't like what you did here.
Not dodging anything.
Yeah, you did. Well, you're not dodging. Hey, the internet's going to get you. You know, you are a meme machine. Every time you're on TV, something comes of it. We'll obviously talk about the game and everything that happened during it, but there's a clip.
I've already been alerted to this, and actually in the moment I was thinking, man, I hope the camera's not on me right now.
He said you ate your bugs.
Yep. Digging for gold.
He said you ate your, ate
no.
your boogers.
Oh, damn, it actually kind of looks like it.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like it, too.
If you would like to, I think you ate your bugs, dude. I think that's what the internet's saying. Now, obviously, I am a human. There was another nostril thing that happened. You had a bottle of smelling salts, I believe, get you going.
Yep.
You know, so I understand wanting a nice, clear nasal cavity. That's what you're trying to do with that, kind of get you going. Maybe something slipped off the edge of that. Maybe there's a little something flying through the air, fireman Ed's. Maybe beard or mustache came in and like tickled you. What happened there? If you would like to clear the air for the boogie eating scandal.
Well, first of all, shout out to Max Mitchell for being there for the little, smelling salts, ammonia packages before taking the field. I appreciate that. As far as the boogs goes, I've actually never eaten my boogers. That's one thing I'm very proud of.
That was your first time on TV?
Oh, one time? What about as a child? Had to happen. Had to happen.
No, I honestly haven't.
You're missing out. Try it.
It looks.
It's great.
It's a tough look to try and defend because that video is a little incriminating.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that there needs to be a side view that shows that there wasn't a boog that actually went in the mouth.
Okay.
It seems like I didn't get anything on that one. That's why I was just kind of like seeing what was going on. But yeah, it's a bad look.
Every once in a while, you get a little tickle in there, too. You know, you got to clear it up. You know, if we could get full context with that side view to notice that there was no delivery.
I'm sure there's a side view as well.
Well, we're going to find it. I'm sure the internet will try to find that entire
Well,
thing.
you know, Pledge, I think that, I don't know, his finger was in his nose, and then it went to his mouth. So I'm not sure what was on there, whether it was a booger or snot. One of the two. I think he had some mucus of some sort. You know, and hey, props to Raj. Sometimes you get hungry on the sidelines. You know, he had to have smelling salts, and so maybe he was a little bit loopy and just needed some protein. Are boogers protein?
I have no clue.
I guess they could be considered protein. I don't know. And so he was caught. And so it's guys like Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb who have to know that those cameras are on them all the time. But it was a bad look. Have you seen the video?
I've seen the video.
Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, he obviously he didn't like go in his nose. He kind of like under.
Yeah.
And then.
It could have been a booger hanging out.
I saw like the fingers go together. Yeah. So he may have just been like scrubbing them together to get it off the fingertip.
Could have been, but it was very close to his mouth when he was doing that.
His mouth.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the same time, never.
No, I never. You know,
I don't believe anybody that says they've never.
Probably not. I would say. I mean, I can't remember when it happened, but I'm sure it happened at some point in time, back in the Stone Age when I was a kid, way back then. Aaron, you got busted, buddy. Completely busted. All right. Everybody's after Caitlin Clark. Everybody, right? Caitlin Clark is about to be a very rich young lady. There's an article today that I saw that I thought was fascinating. You remember when Ice Cube was trying to get her to play in his 3-on-3 league, and she wouldn't do that? I think he offered her like $5 million to do that. Well, there's another league apparently that's coming out, and the headline of this article is that Caitlin Clark could make $150 million to play in a new 3-on-3 women's basketball league. So the other one is both men and women, the one that Ice Cube runs. But this one could be, or should be just women. Now, she's going to make $1 million, according to this article, in a salary. But she would have a stock, an ownership into this particular league, which could net her up to $150 million, all in incentives, which is wow. I mean, fantastic. Apparently, it looks like Barstool Sports owner Dave Portnoy is the guy that's organizing this league. And so that's incredible. And it just goes to show you how big Caitlin Clark is and what she's done for the WNBA. I have to admit, and I don't know about you guys, but I have to admit I watched a lot more WNBA games than I've ever watched because of her, and not only because of her, because of the rivalries that she did and because of the shots that she was taking and all of that kind of stuff. It made it interesting to me. And I probably will watch again. She's a very unique talent. There's no question about it. So it looks like she's about to make a lot of money. Well, how about this? You ever ordered a pizza and gone to the pizza place and picked it up and they give you a side of cocaine? This is a real story in Germany. It's a German pizza place, and they got busted for selling a special pizza that came with a side of cocaine. And it was a legit drug dealing operation. When you called in your order for the pizza and you ordered pizza number 40, that was the code word, pizza number 40, and you go pick it up and you had a little baggie full of cocaine to go along with your pizza. I think it's genius, actually, if you're a drug dealer, and a good way to get away with it. And I'm not sure how long this particular operation was going on, but, a lot of times criminals are pretty damn smart, aren't they? They get away with stuff, and you just got to wonder if criminals would put those smarts to doing stuff that is, legit. Well, they might be, I don't know, Elon Musk. Who knows?
I mean, it's not legit, but they're putting it towards making a lot of money very quickly.
Well, absolutely. No question. So I don't know if you're like me and you're a gambler and you have you enjoy that, and I don't know if I could quit. I mean, obviously if I went broke, I'd have to do it, but I don't gamble big enough to do that. But it's kind of like being a criminal. If you go rob a place or you pull a heist and you get $1 million, you can't quit. And that's how these guys get caught. If they just take the money and run, then they might not get caught. Who knows? I don't have the stones to do anything like that. But I thought that was genius. Yeah, order pizza number 40. You get your pizza and a bag of cocaine. How about that? Hey, Bob Ballou's going to join us here in about 20 minutes or so. We'll talk Texas Longhorn football. Is there a quarterback controversy in Austin now that Sark pulled his switcheroo in the Georgia game? But coming up next, it was history in the making. It was history in the NBA last night. LeBron James and Bronny James together on the court at the same time. We'll cry together when the Blitz continues here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Morning Huddle.
There's an article on The Athletic talking about the bottom of the Western Conference and how it's going to shape out this year and how they expect the bottom of that conference to look like, basically the non-playoff teams.
I think we're a part of that.
They think so too.
Yeah.
But I'm curious if you think you're in the right region of that conversation.
We're treading water, but we are still in the swirling toilet.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
911, what's your emergency? October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. In San Antonio, 5 domestic violence calls happen every hour.
The time to end domestic violence in our community is now.
Step out of violence.
You are not alone.
Call 211 for help. Call 911 if it's an emergency.
When you've got a big job to do, never compromise. Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Get the power, comfort, and quality you need by choosing Kubota rental equipment. Excavators, skid loaders, track loaders, RTVs, or mowers. At Ewald Kubota, we have the machine you need when you need it. Rent by the day, week, or month. We know you want the dependable equipment Kubota is known for, and we can even deliver it to you. From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, for over 75 years, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? 'Cause I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
Smoky Moe's Texas Barbecue, the best neighborhood barbecue in San Antonio, is now taking orders for Thanksgiving smoked turkeys and holiday parties. Hurry, their whole smoked turkeys sell out every year. Order a freshly smoked, perfectly seasoned turkey and add their delicious side dishes for your best Thanksgiving dinner ever. Having a holiday party? Let Smoky Moe's bring the food. Choose from their classic Texas barbecue to their special holiday catering menu. Order now at SmokyMoe'sBBQ.com or call a Smoky Moe's near you. Smoky Moe's, the pit is lit.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
You invited Dak and Coop over to the house. What Mama cooked?
She never disappoints.
Well, what was the meal? We're really curious.
Well, she had the local pizza, salads, pasta dish chicken.
Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1. San Antonio's Sports Star.
History tonight. The first father-son duo to play together in an NBA game. This is all in the family. And what a celebration for the James family.
Oh, I got goosebumps, y'all. Give me a minute. Goosebumps are running all up and down me. Oh, what a moment. What a moment. Changed all of our lives. Last night, history made in the NBA. LeBron James Bronny James enter the court together. Amazing. Something I'll never forget. Well, maybe by 5 minutes from now. Not sure. What did you think of history in the NBA last night? I don't know. If you were with us yesterday, you kind of know how I felt about it. And then watching last night, I kind of feel even more so about it, that it was a complete clown show, staged event, made for TV, made for the James family, LeBron James in particular. It was all just a staged, set-up reality TV show. Bronny came in, bricked a three, got swatted by Rudy Gobert, and then quickly left. He played a total of 3 minutes in the game last night. That the Lakers did win, by the way. I don't know. What do you think about that? I know a lot of people were looking forward to it. I had a conversation with my buddy Ray this morning at the gym, and he's like, "Oh, I thought it was great. It was great. It's history. It's it." And I'm like, dude, please. And I know Pledge feels the same way. Pledge got goosebumps. Had a moment last night with the James family, and enjoyed that. Were you surprised, Pledge, that it took so long for Bronny to get in the game?
No, there was reports before the game that, in the second quarter this was going to happen.
Well, and they did have, a 15-point lead at the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that could be a...
By the way, congratulations, J.J. Redick.
Yeah, well, winning his first one.
Mm-hmm.
I think J.J. actually...
can coach?
Well, I'm not sure. It's one game. It's one game. Let's wait and see. LeBron didn't play all that well last night. But they got the win. What was it, 110-103, I think, over Minnesota last night. Minnesota could be in trouble. I mean, they could be in trouble without Cat. Rudy Gobert might be exposed there. I don't know. And again, it's one game. Let's talk when we're about 20 games into the season.
The extension for Gobert right before tip-off, basically.
With $110 million, I think, right? Something in that neighborhood.
That was so bizarre to me.
Very bizarre.
Because I get that he won Defensive Player of the Year. I argued against it all year long.
Yeah, you did.
I get that he won it, but it's been proven time and time again against the elite teams in the NBA, they're going to expose him. And in the playoffs, you saw him not on the floor in pivotal moments of games because of his defensive liability.
Because he's soft, Pledge. Go ahead and say it. He's soft.
No, he just can't switch.
He
soft. Can't play with the smaller players.
Rudy Gobert, oh my gosh.
People just switch to him to get a smaller guy on him so they can expose him. That's not a soft thing. That's a lack of ability thing.
Minnesota had no choice, I don't think, in this matter. I mean, honestly, you get rid of Cat, he's gone. You got to keep Gobert. I guess they made that choice, or somebody.
Why do you get rid of Cat?
Well, I'm not sure why they did that, but they did, and so they could be in trouble. Now, Ant's going to have to really play his butt off, and I think he will, and I think Minnesota will be okay. I just wouldn't put them in the NBA championship conversation necessarily, but I certainly wouldn't put the Lakers there either. I don't think the Lakers have a team assembled that can take it the distance as well. But I thought it was interesting, and what I did think was interesting, and I will give this to LeBron and Bronny, right before they came into the game, LeBron, he gave his son a little bit of advice.
You see the intensity, right? Just play carefree, though. Don't worry about mistakes. Just go out and play hard.
Look, for all the criticism I'm giving the NBA, and I'm not giving this to LeBron necessarily. The Lakers did what he wanted. And I heard somebody say today, and I've heard this before, and maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I guess we'll never know, that there were some teams before the Lakers that were thinking about taking Bronny James. They didn't, out of respect to LeBron. Now, I'm going to cry BS on that and the reason I'm going to cry BS on that is because if I am, I don't know, the San Antonio Spurs, and I really did like Bronny James, and I had a pick 2 or 3 before the Lakers, why the hell would you let the Lakers have him? I mean, so I don't buy that argument, and I don't buy that rumor. So, needless, I don't think Bronny gets drafted, period, if the Lakers don't draft him.
I think he gets drafted.
I don't think he gets drafted.
It's because of his name he gets drafted.
Well,
you're hoping for, the talent of the James name. The same reason that Michael Jordan's kid got to play college ball.
I hate it, but he's not anything like his father. He's just not.
No.
Now, he's a good ball player, I'm sure, and I know the heart attack and the heart problems he had in college were an issue, but even before that, though, he couldn't crack the starting lineup at USC. So he's not an NBA player, not yet. Maybe he'll develop into that with some time in the G League.
Everybody's
Perhaps.
always said Bronny's other kid's the one that's going to be an NBA player.
Could be. Could very well be. I know there's a great moment for LeBron. And if you're a LeBron fan, you're happy for the James family. And I'm happy for the James family. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a complete monster here. But I just think the whole thing was staged. It was a made-for-TV event. And I think the NBA ought to be embarrassed. I honestly do. But they're not going to be, because I'm sure the ratings were high. Everybody in L.A. was excited about it because they're kissing LeBron's butt, because that's what they do in Los Angeles. And so, everybody's happy, and it will turn out that it was just a great thing. But I just think it was a staged event that was just unnecessary. And something that I don't think, are you 10 years from now, is anybody, man, I remember where I was.
Oh.
That specific night when LeBron and Bronny came out on the floor together and made NBA history.
No.
Come here, grandkids, let me tell you about that. It was a great moment.
But is anybody trying to argue that?
Well, I don't know if anybody's arguing it.
I think
they're making
right.
it out like it's history. It's history.
Well, it is history. It's literally the first time it's ever happened in the NBA.
It's kind of like the Boston Celtics trying to get the three-point record last night. I
wanted them to.
Well, but again, is that a record you're going to remember?
No, but you're in the record books.
In the moment, I guess. And I didn't care if they got it or not. I saw Derek White, and I always get very upset when I see Derek White playing well, because he was once a member of the San Antonio Spurs, and I wish he was again. But look, they could do it because they just simply kicked New York's butt. So they had the opportunity to do it, and they took 61 threes last night.
Well, they went 0 for 13 at the end.
And
they were
did.
shooting
I
like
know it.
70% before
61 3-point buckets last night. That was incredible. Bronny, Claymore reminds me, played 2 minutes and 2 minutes, 1 second exactly. See, we got a lot of LeBron fans that know that I'm right. Right, Cedarwood? I made my point. Next topic. It was ridiculous, and you know it as well as I do. We'll move on, though, because I always do what Cedarwood tells me to do.
Oh.
Next topic. It's time anyway. And I want to talk to my good friend Bob Ballou. Is there a quarterback controversy in Austin? What do you think, Cedarwood? Is there? We'll talk about it when we return here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, NFL is back. We're talking Vikings and Rams.
And the Spurs start their season. We'll preview it all. Morning Huddle starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This Friday night, the big Roo Pub Halloween party. And you know the Halloween parties at the Roo Pub. They have become legendary. The 11th annual Halloween party at the Roo Pub and Angry Elephant. This Friday night, kick off the party weekend. No cover charge, $1,000 costume contest at midnight. It is the Halloween party of the year. It is the Halloween party you don't want to miss. So this Friday night, the Roo Pub there at 281 and Redland Road. Of course, tonight you got 2 Monday night games. Got the World Series starting on Friday night as well, and then going into the weekend, college football, pro football. No better place to go in the big UFC fight on Saturday night. 3 massive 170-inch screens, TVs all around. And you know the food at the Roo is fantastic. And that kitchen is open late every day with the full menu available. So when you need a late-night meal, don't go to a drive-thru. Get into the Roo Pub there at 281 and Redland Road. Happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night. And this Friday night, that big Halloween party. The Roo Pub, just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. 281 and Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Joel, don't you just love Halloween?
It's okay, but I do like your troll costume.
I'm not wearing a costume.
Folks, if your home's AC starts making those witching sounds or the pipes in your wall start moaning and clanging like ghosts having a party, call Quarter Moon at 651-5899 and we'll send our team of highly trained
Ghostbusters!
I was gonna say technicians.
I ain't afraid of no clogs.
Quarter Moon Plumbing and AC, 651-5899. License number TACLA 141074E M16004.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. Testosterone plays a significant role in regulating fat metabolism and distribution in the body. It also helps to reduce serious health risks down the line. I'm Manny with Rock's Discount Vitamins, and we carry the highest quality natural testosterone boosters on the market. It immediately provides you with more energy, increased libido, increased metabolism, and improves your mood. With 11 San Antonio area locations, find us at rocksdiscountvitamins.com. That's rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God and you for all the support.
Howdy, Ags. Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Aggies, inviting you to watch all A&M games at the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road. Owned by Chip Ingram, class of 98, the Angry Elephant is known for their liberal cocktails at conservative prices and the best hot dog in Texas. Since 2012, the Angry Elephant's been the place to watch A&M, and this year is no different. Just down from the Big Blind, right next to the Rue Pub at 281 and Redland Road. The Angry Elephant. Like your bar, love your Aggies. Gig 'em.
Time to start planning your Thanksgiving dinner, and that starts with the turkey. And the best turkeys are from Tri-County Meat Market. Tri-County gets their turkeys from Barber Farms in Colorado. These fresh, all-natural turkeys are never frozen and come between 8 and 24 pounds. Tri-County Meat Market only gets a limited number, so reserve your turkey before they sell out. Pre-order your turkeys and your pies from the Ultimate Cheesecake Bakery now at either Tri-County Meat Market location on Heavener Road or on Ralph Fair Road.
Football is back, and what better way to celebrate than winning some cash with Sleeper Picks? Sleeper Picks is a fantasy game, but you could win real money. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If your picks are right, you win. You could pick up to 8 players to win up to 100 times your money. And Sleeper has a couple huge offers to kickstart the football season. For new users, Sleeper will match your first deposit with up to $100 credit to your account. If you've already played, Sleeper's got discounted player projections for you every week of the season. So download the Sleeper app now and use promo code BLOCK, and your first deposit will be doubled with a credit up to $100. What are you waiting for? Download Sleeper today and use code BLOCK for a credit up to $100 match on your first deposit. That's code BLOCK. Must be 18 years in most states and in state where it is legal. Promo code and other restrictions apply. Visit sleeper.com. Please wager responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-426-2537 for help. Sponsored by Sleeper, a Blitz product.
So this new dose is, nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
What's that? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnix. A little under the weather today, so he's taking the day off to recoup and recover, eat some chicken soup maybe, something like that. Hey, we're going to talk to Bob Ballou of KI Sports. In fact, we'll bring Bob in courtesy of the Buyers Barricade guest line. Bob, how are you doing on this Wednesday?
Well, I'm wondering if Jason has the same thing my daughter has, because I just went and picked her up from school sick. So
wow. Well, Jason is like he is like a child, so I mean, it's that makes sense.
Jason might have a little hangover from Texas Saturday night because he texted me seeing if I would be available to grab a beer after the game, and I said, Jason, I don't know if you know this or not, but I got to work for a living. I got to go into the locker room, and I got to go see if Quinn's going to talk and how this is all going to go down. And so I think I got home at like 3 in the morning, Sunday morning. But it's a, Joe, you just when everything is smooth, just remember this forever. When it's just such smooth sailing and everything's great, that's when it's going to hit you. Just remember that. That's a good life lesson.
It is for all of us, Bob. If things are going too well, just be ready for that bump in the road. But I do have to ask you, because when we talked last week, and I even said it and had to eat my words, I thought I bought into Texas. I thought, man, they're playing well. They've got the athletes. They've got the speed. I don't think they'll have any problem with Georgia. How surprised were you that Georgia just came out and smacked them in the mouth?
Yeah, I wasn't surprised. In fact, I said that late in the week to some people. I was like, this is a program that's lost 3 games in 4 years. Like, I don't really expect them to just kind of roll over and take this stuff away that everybody thinks they're going to. I know they haven't looked great. They beat Kentucky by a point. They beat Mississippi State like 41-31. Everybody's kind of questioning things. But my thought would be Georgia's absolutely going to come out and punch Texas in the mouth. But how does Texas respond to it? And I'll be honest. I thought the defensive effort was off the charts good. They had given up 3 touchdowns all year. They gave up 3 touchdowns against Georgia. I understand that. But the field position was it was not fair to that Texas defense. Think about this. In the first half, Georgia scored 23 points. They had 64 yards on those 23 points.
Wow.
The defense just – and that's why I still think Texas is really good. Their defense is just – played so well across the board. Obviously the one play I think they would want back is that 3rd and 10 when they were down 23-15. They got Georgia backed up deep in their own end zone, and they completed a 21-yard pass. The next play, the flea flicker goes for 43. They end up scoring, and that pretty much was the ball game. But the defense has been great. Offensively, one of the major questions I had going into last week, and we probably talked about this, was can Texas run the ball? That was my question. They haven't really shown a number one back. They haven't. Yeah, Trey Wisner looked great against Oklahoma. He had 88 yards against Mississippi State. He had run it well, but they obviously didn't have the dynamic burst of a Bijan Robinson or a Jonathan Brooks that they've had the last couple of years. And so I kind of wondered, would they be able to run it? I think what we didn't expect was Quinn to regress a little bit back into 2022 freshman Quinn. His footwork wasn't great, all those things. But and this is not I think this was kind of Sark's point in a lot of this, and I know we'll get into this, but Quinn played bad, and I think there's everybody understands that. But there were a lot of things that went wrong offensively in that first half. It wasn't all on Quinn. It wasn't all on the offensive line. It wasn't all on the receiver. The blame goes around, and if you break down a few plays, you see some of those things that kind of reared their ugly head. And then you think about this too. On that second possession, they get on Georgia's Carson Duck throws the interception. Texas gets the ball. They've got a chance right there to do something. They run a double reverse. Quinn throws it to Trey Wisner. Trey Wisner has nothing but open field in front of him, and he drops it.
Mm-hmm.
That is a game changer.
Sure.
It's 7-0 Texas, and everything changes. And those are the things that I think when you start kind of breaking it down into little bitty senses like that, you go, they were down 23-0 and got it back to within a possession and were a stop from getting the ball back with a chance to go tie. Are there a lot of issues that stem out of that? Sure. But I don't think it's like, wow, they're not going to make the playoff now. The season's going to crumble. Everything's a disaster. I think it's more, what's the next step? Can Quinn respond? Can the offense respond? Can they run the ball? Can they do the things necessary this weekend? And that's what we're going to find out.
Well, I've got to ask you. You got to let me have a little fun here, Bob, because when I wake up on Sunday, I see an article in The Athletic that Sark got exactly what he didn't want. And you know what I'm talking about, a quarterback controversy when he pulls Quinn, puts in Arch Manning, and I wonder what the thought or what the talk is there in Austin about what happened, number one. I know Quinn came back in and he played much better in the second half, but is there any type or has Sark put a lid on that?
Yeah, I mean, he's done his best to put a lid on it. And I actually, from his perspective, if you look at the overall scene right now, I actually think he's done a pretty good job of managing what decision he made the best he can. Now let's get into the layers of it. I think number one, when you do that, when you pull your quarterback in that position, you are putting into question everything. In Sark's mind, he was looking for a spark. If your number one running back has 8 carries for -1 yard, you're probably going to put in the backup to see if you can get a spark from him. The quarterback is a different position, though, so it's going to raise all the questions in the world, and everybody knows that. Sark knows that. But by putting Quinn back in, he basically said, my decision was, let's see if we can create a spark. I'm not happy with the way Quinn's playing. I'm not happy with the way the offense is playing. Let's try to do something different. It worked in some senses. Quinn came back and played well in the second half. They got within a possession. But here's the problem with it. Now you wonder, number one, is Quinn looking over his shoulder? If he throws a pick and then has a couple bad possessions after that, is he like, okay, well, I guess they're just going to put Arch in? Number two, what does that do to the relationship between Quinn and Sark in terms of trust? Is that an issue now? Quinn was very visibly pissed Saturday night in the postgame press conference. In fact, it went so far as to say one of the last questions was kind of a repeated question of what did they tell you at the half? And he said, nobody told me anything when I got benched other than we're just going to put Arch in and try to see if it does anything. And then at the half, they came in and told me I would get the job back. And somebody said, well, how did that make you feel? He said, well, number one, I feel like I was put on this earth to be a quarterback. And so, yeah, I mean, I felt like I could, I wanted to go back in the game. And then he kind of paused and he gave this. From interviewing him over the last 3 years, I took it as sarcastic. But he was like, yeah, I mean, I guess it makes me feel good that they wanted me to go back in. And it's a tough, he was pissed. But in some senses, Joe, good. Like when you're not playing well, your coach has to do something. You can't just keep, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and getting the same result. Like, he had to do something. And so in the end, I respect Sark a lot for making the decision he made in the moment to try to create a spark and then going back to Quinn. And then after the game saying Quinn's our starter. This is Quinn's team. Nothing's changed. I think the problem with it is if Arch had led a touchdown drive, now does Arch come out in the second half and now Quinn's on the bench? I don't know. We'll never know the answer to that. But what we do know is there's something there now that wasn't there a week ago. And I think it's the question of Quinn didn't look great against OU coming off the injury. He didn't look great last week. The injury is not a factor according to Quinn and according to Sark. So there's obviously something there. Now the question is, how do you move forward with your quarterback in terms of trust and in terms of what you've built over the last 3 years so that Quinn's not looking over his shoulder every time he makes a bad throw?
Well, and that's the issue, and that's what Sark always wanted to avoid. I'm certain of it.
For sure.
Jason was there, and I could hear it on the TV as well. Nobody was screaming Arch, 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 but when he came into the game, that stadium erupted. Did it not?
Yeah.
I mean, it was nuts.
And it always has. It always has. And that's something Quinn's had to deal with. Let's be honest. I mean, the Texas Tech game last year was Arch's first appearance, and that was the loudest a crowd's been at Texas in 30 years. It was insane. And the same thing happened in game one when he came in. Arch has to literally quiet the crowd when he comes in the game. But that's something Quinn's had to deal with. It's not Quinn's fault. If Arch's name was Arch Smith, the stadium wouldn't erupt like that. But his name's Arch Manning. And so there's more to it. I think everybody understands that. And that's, I heard Sark on Pat McAfee last Friday talking about that whole situation of the dynamic of it. Quinn's handled it really well. For everyone knowing who Arch Manning is, what that means to the program to get a recruit like that, Quinn was also a 5.0 5-star. There were 3 of them all time in the history of rankings, and it was Vince Young, Quinn Ewers, and Arch Manning. So, Quinn has that background, that pedigree of what it's coming from, but his last name's not Manning. And so, Sark has praised Quinn for the way he's handled that. And it's gonna continue to happen when Arch comes in. The stadium's gonna lose its mind. But I think we saw in those two series, the Georgia defense was having as much of an impact on what was going on with Texas offensively as anything. I think the thing that Arch brings you that Quinn doesn't is a little bit of the ability to run. And that obviously throws defenses into a little bit more of a tizzy. Quinn can do it a little bit, but not the way Arch can. But Arch doesn't have the experience of 3 years in this offense and all those things. So if you're going to make the switch at some point to Arch, then Arch is going to get all the 1 reps during the week. They're going to build the playbook around him. It's not going to be coming in cold, and that changes things too. So there are just so many dynamics to this. The obvious hope is that Quinn just gets better. It was a one-time thing. Everything's better this week against Vanderbilt, and you move forward. But if it's not, again, and we talked about this from the beginning, they know they have a very capable backup behind him who can do good things.
And we're visiting with Bob Ballou, our Texas Longhorn insider from KI Sports in Austin. And, typically, Bob, we could say, well, we got Vanderbilt. It's an easy game for Texas on the road, no problem. But Vanderbilt has shown some moxie, if you will, and they're a lot better team than perhaps they have been in the past. Now, just to answer that question, has Quinn been getting all the first-team reps this week?
Yeah, from everything I've heard, he has. He is the starter. Everything's as normal as you would go into a game week this week. Now, the one thing that was abnormal, and again, this goes to – and I think from a Texas PR perspective, I do think this was the right move, but Quinn Ewers did not talk on Monday for the first time as a healthy quarterback. Now, when he was hurt and they were saying, listing him as questionable, he didn't talk because they didn't know if he was going to play or whatever. This is the first time where he was the starting quarterback, and he did not talk. And I think that's to fan the flames of all this. I think they didn't want Quinn to get in front of us and still be pissed and say something that he shouldn't say or give some kind of reaction that we interpret as something else. I don't blame them because the only time Quinn has to talk in the next 2 weeks is Saturday night after the Vanderbilt game. Because they're off next week, so he doesn't have to talk next Monday. He doesn't have to talk. So they can really fan the flames on this. But that's the only abnormality that happened this week was him not showing up for media availability.
So then they never gave a reason or an explanation why he did that. He just didn't show.
He did not. He was not there, and it's Quinn. He's not available today or whatever. There's
Gotcha.
no reasoning behind it.
Well, Bob, you know as well as I do, and we're visiting with Bob Ballou of KI Sports, our Texas Longhorns insider. And you know as well as I do, when a guy doesn't show up and there's no explanation, the media goes wild with conspiracy theories and everything else. And we were doing that here on the radio. I can only imagine what was being said there in Austin.
Well, and then that's when the 24/7 Sports Instagram account was hacked.
Yes.
The thing comes out and says Quinn is going to sit out the rest of the season and all that, and then everybody's scrambling on that front to try to figure out if that's true. None of it was true. Everybody from every perspective said Quinn was there. Everything's fine. He's the starter. He took all the 1 reps in practice, all those kind of things. So nothing's changed, but there is a different aura in the air, certainly, if nothing else, about the whole thing. But to me, the biggest thing is the trust factor of, can Quinn go into a game comfortable that if he throws a pick or he does a few things wrong, Sark's not going to pull him, which I don't think he will. I don't think that's Sark's MO. I think Sark was just in the moment of, we're just getting our asses handed to us. We got to do something.
Did he panic, Bob? Do you think he panicked a little bit?
No, I really don't. I really don't. Every possession was, Quinn gets hit, sack, fumble, 3-and-out sack, another interception, a 3-and-out. Like, the offense was just bad, and I think Sark just thought maybe it was Arch's legs, maybe it was just the spark aspect, which is all he really talked about was the spark. But I don't think it was a panic move. I think it was we're in trouble. We got to change something, or this is just going to keep happening. And I've got to get to the half. And then of course Arch comes in and then he fumbles, and so you're just honestly in some senses it reminded me of the national championship game against Alabama, where it was like, we've just got to get to the half, and then Garrett fumbles right before the half. Alabama returns that for a touchdown. It was just like everything that possibly could have gone wrong went wrong, and then they came out in the second half and played better. And I think that happens in sports sometimes. I think your team gets in those moments of, in those big moments, and there's a sudden change that you don't expect. We're playing terrible, How do we change it? And I think Sark just made a decision. This is how we're going to change it right now, and let's figure it out at the half.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how they do moving forward, Bob. With Vanderbilt coming up, obviously, I would think Vandy has Texas's attention, and coming off a loss like that, I expect Texas to play well up in Nashville, don't you?
I do. I mean, I really do. I think one of the things we'll see is if they can establish the run. I think that's something they're really going to want to do. But Vanderbilt's been really good at limiting other teams' plays and possessions. I think most teams probably have. I think he said Alabama had like 50 plays. Normally, I think Texas had 75 or 80 against Georgia. So you're really going to have to make your plays count. You're going to make your possessions count. I'm excited to see what the run game and what Quinn does, all those things. But I think the defense is what's going to win these games for Texas, and I think we're going to see that again on Saturday.
Bob Ballou with KI Sports. Bob, before I let you go, I know you're a Cowboys fan. I got some bad news for you.
This should be good.
Brandon Aubrey is on the injury report today. Did not practice today. That's bad. Their best player did not practice today.
Their best player is out. Did you see why?
Jury duty.
That's one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen. I've never heard of that in a practice. But,
he's actually, we just got an update. He's been selected to be on a 12-person jury for a felony case in Tarrant County. It doesn't say what kind of a felony case it is, but there's no clear timetable for how long that will last. Luckily, they don't have court on Sundays.
I was going to say which former Cowboys player is in court. So he's gonna have to go.
Yeah, right.
No, but that's really funny that he was selected. That's pretty amazing. We joked after the OU game that their best player was the punter, and that happens sometimes. But man, that's And they got San Francisco this week, which I think everybody thought was going to be this big showdown, and now it's like San Francisco's only missing Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk for the year, and although they don't look as good anymore, and now Dallas is coming in with all the fire of everything that's happened over the last 2 weeks. I mean, it's Sunday Night Football, and it'll be drama, but it's not the drama I think everybody expected.
That's the Dallas Cowboys, and that makes it okay because it's a lot of fun, and they're good for business, Bob. You know that. Bob Ballou from KI Sports, our Texas Longhorn insider. Bob, really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll be talking about happier times next Wednesday.
All right. Sounds like a plan, Joe. I always appreciate it.
All right, Bob. Thanks a lot. Bob Ballou joining us via the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. Interesting stuff there with Brandon Aubrey selected to a jury today. That's incredible, is it not? Unbelievable. We're going to take a break. When we come back, stay with us because there was a big trade made today in the NFL, and the Texans are trying to get some help for that defensive, just their defense, period. Totally. So we'll see if they did what they needed to do today. We'll continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville. 1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday night at 7:20. After a bye, it's the first of 2 road games. Dallas and San Francisco taking on the 49ers.
I like this kind of party!
Pre-game starts at 6. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
You asked for it, you got it! How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. You need T-shirts screen printed. You need to create something. Sam can do that for you. You need your logo on any kind of shirt, a golf shirt, fishing shirt, dress shirt. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. If you need caps made, Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom, including the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps, Katie caps, Nike Cap America, to name a few. Over 700 uniform lines to choose from. Nobody has better prices, and Sam has all the big name brands, and he's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too big, no order too small, and all items do come with a warranty. Call 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or better yet, get into that massive showroom down on San Pedro, a mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website samsembroidery.com for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Being arrested is embarrassing, humiliating, and potentially life-changing. If you want to rewrite the script on the worst night of your life, then you're going to need a stable of aggressive and skilled attorneys. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, Attorneys at Law. We are here to get your life and reputation back. Visit TexasArrest.com or call 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. As a former major crimes prosecutor, I've seen almost every type of arrest scenario play out, from small degree drug accusations to death penalty capital murders. I've handled almost every type of case the state of Texas can charge you with. At Barton & Associates, we know how to flip the script and get your life back on track. Call us at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. Or visit us at TexasArrest.com. That's TexasArrest.com. Barton & Associates, we are here to get your life and reputation back.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks, my daily fantasy game. In fact, mine and 10 million others are playing this every day because we know what we're doing. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on your sports action. Join me and so many others playing every day. You know why? Prize Picks invented FlexPay, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. Look, you know your sports. How many yards is CeeDee Lamb going to get this week? Is Jonathan Taylor going to get 85 or more? You know what you're doing. Go make your play. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which players aren't? You know you play fantasy football. Put your knowledge to work. And remember, use the code Alamo and there's $50 in it for you. Download the app now. Use Alamo. Play with your friends. It's the best way to have fun and get yourself in the game. Remember, Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can add to big payouts. Download the app today. Prize Picks. Run your game.
911, what's your emergency?
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. In San Antonio, 5 domestic violence calls happen every hour.
The time to end domestic violence in our community is now.
Step out of violence.
You are not alone.
Call 211 for help. Call 911 if it's an emergency.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
It's time to huddle up and listen close. For 2024, we pay tribute to a true game changer in the world of snacks, the unrivaled, the unbeatable, the pork rind. Yes, it's crunch time, and we're not just talking about the last few nail-biting minutes of the game. We're talking about a snack so audaciously crunchy, it puts those pretentious chips and pretzels to shame. So here's to you, Southern Recipe pork rinds, for being more than just a crunch. Southern Recipe pork rinds. It's crunch time. Find your rind at H-E-B.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
Feels kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching.
Does this have peanuts?
To waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, it was the breaking news just a few minutes ago. Dallas Cowboys kicker Brandon Aubrey missed practice today doing his civic duty. He has been selected to be on a 12-person jury for a felony case in Tarrant County. There's no clear timetable for how long the case will last. We'll talk more about that coming up here on the Blitz. Kansas City Chiefs made a deal with the Tennessee Titans. Wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins going to the Chiefs for a 5th round that could be a 4th round.
Guess what day it is?
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minnix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo
17. It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Hump day.
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 Yeah. Here we go. Happy Hump Day, everybody. So happy you could join us here on this Wednesday afternoon. Hoping you're having a great day. I got a shout out to my buddy Bill Taylor. It's his birthday today. Billy T. I don't know how old he is.
I didn't know it was your birthday.
Yeah, well, I should get a couple of days. Maybe we should both share each other's, and we'd each get 2 days a year. But Bill Taylor, happy birthday, my friend. I hope they're treating you well over at Ken's 5. I'm sure that they are. But happy birthday to Bill Taylor. Again, so happy that you're joining us here today. Spend a little time with us here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnix, a little bit under the weather today, so he's at home recovering, trying to get well. So he will be back with us as soon as he can be back with us. So just have some happy thoughts for old Jason Minnix today, so he can get well and rejoin the fun that we're having here on the Blitz. Lots to talk about. It was breaking news just a few minutes ago. Cowboys kicker Brandon Aubrey missed practice today. And on the practice report, it said jury duty. So apparently they liked Brandon Aubrey in this particular court, the 297th District Court in Tarrant County, because he's been selected to be in a 12-person jury for a felony case. Now, I'm reading this article in the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Apparently, the case is centered around a third-degree strangulation charge on the defendant. And the presiding judge, by the way, is Judge David Hagerman, who, according to this article, is a former football player in the 1970s at the University of North Texas. Now, it goes on to say that the Cowboys tried to get Aubrey out of jury duty today, but Aubrey insisted on fulfilling his duty today. Now, it's expected he'll return to practice tomorrow and Friday, and it doesn't say when the trial is expected to start. So all of that is yet to be seen, but that's interesting that Brandon Aubrey, boy, if that thing starts on Monday, that dude's not going to get any sleep Sunday night.
Do you think he requested to not be taken out of this jury duty that the Cowboys were trying to fight for him to do so that he could get away from all the people tapping on the glass?
Yeah, that's it. All the distractions of the zoo visitation there at the Star in Dallas. Of course, he just needed a little break from the. But how cool is that, honestly? Because most of us would have said, "Yeah, dude, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go to jury duty." Because most of you listening, I'm sure, have had jury duty at some point in time. I've had jury duty. I've actually served on a jury, and while it was interesting, the wheels of justice turn very slowly, right? So I mean, it can get kind of monotonous when you're on a jury, and I'm sure most of you know that if you've been selected. But it's kind of and it is our civic duty. I'm not saying that we shouldn't do it, but it is kind of a pain. Although you get off work for that day, right? You got to go down to the courthouse at 8 o'clock in the morning and maybe go into one courtroom and then go into another courtroom and another courtroom until they finally get rid of you. But it's what we're supposed to do.
But you don't get compensated fairly.
What should you be compensated?
For
jury duty, yeah.
Well,
I mean, what is it, like $6 a day or something
like
ridiculous,
it's
right?
Ridiculous, but you're missing work. You should be compensated for what you're missing.
Well, you're still getting paid at work, though. I mean, you're obligated. Your employer has to still pay you for a day's work. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the law. And if there are any lawyers out there that can enlighten me if I'm wrong, please let me know. But I think you still get paid. Like if you had jury duty here, I mean, the station is obligated to pay you for at least 8 hours, which I know you work a hell of a lot more than that. But I mean, so it's a pay cut for you. But I'm just saying, I think they're obligated to do that for an 8-hour day.
I'm just saying, like, a lot of people go to jury duty and lose money.
Well, some do, perhaps. But, it's one of those things you have to do. I mean, you can get out of it from time to time, I guess. But I admire Brandon Aubrey for not getting out of it when the Cowboys could have very easily got him out of it. I'm sure if Jerry makes a phone call to this judge or somebody down at the courthouse, they said, sure, no problem. But
well, it depends which judge, huh?
Well, maybe. Could be whether he likes Jerry or not. Or maybe he's as upset with Jerry Jones as all other Cowboy fans are.
Jerry's been in front of a few judges.
He's been in front of a few. Yeah, he really has. So, but props to Brandon Aubrey. I respect that. I mean, I really do respect that. The fact that he said, no, I'm going to go down and do what I got to do. And then he's selected for this thing. And I'm sure we'll get more information. But as of now, I don't see when this trial is supposed to begin. I would assume it might start on Monday. If it starts on Monday, think about that. I mean, they're not going to get back from San Francisco until really late or really early.
4 or 5
in the morning, and he'd have to go straight to the courthouse. So it's going to be interesting. So if he talks to the media tomorrow, which he just might do now, I mean, people are going to request him, that's for sure. But
but once you've been selected, can you talk to the media, or you have?
Well, you just can't talk about the case. And plus, if he talks tomorrow, the case hadn't started yet, so he's free to do that. And I guess he'll know about as much as the Fort Worth Star-Telegram knows, and it's a strangulation case. So very interesting, and it probably will be an interesting trial. The one I served on was kind of creepy, I'll be honest with you, Pledge. A mother was accusing her ex-husband of touching their son inappropriately. And it was really, it's kind of creepy, obviously, because the lawyers bring out dolls because the kid was on the stand.
Oh.
Kid was like 4 or 5 years old, but the kid was on the stand. They're asking, did Daddy touch you here? Did he do this? And I'm like, whoa, gosh. So anyway, I'll tell you exactly, because we came to the conclusion that the guy was innocent, that he didn't do what Mom was accusing him of doing. So he got off, and I hope we made the right decision. I guess you always hope that in a jury, right?
I would hope
that you made the right decision, but you got to go with what you got. And anyway, that's what we did. And I don't remember the guy's name, but anyway, I hope he didn't do that and then do it again. Now, Gerardo Montanez on our YouTube channel says your employer is not required to pay you for any time that you have missed from work due to jury service. However, your employer cannot fire you while you're fulfilling your civic duty. Now, I'm assuming you're right there, Gerardo, but I don't know if that's actually factual. I'm sure it is, but that's what Gerardo says on our YouTube channel. And I'm really surprised at that. And I know your employer can't say, no, you can't go. Right? I mean, if you're in jury duty, and then if you're selected, they have to let you off there too, and they can't fire you. So anyway, Brandon Aubrey, it's a little bit different with him. Luckily for him, they won't have any trials or stuff on Sunday. So that's good for him. He ought to be able to play without any problem. But we'll continue to follow that. That's pretty cool.
Is it a distraction?
Maybe. It could be. It could very well be. I don't know. Brandon Aubrey's the best player the Cowboys have at this moment in time, I would say. The most reliable, anyway. That's for sure.
No, you can say best.
Well, I would say that. And most reliable. I think the two go together. The Chiefs pulled off a hell of a deal today. And I tell you what, it's interesting because Jerry Jones, when he was on the radio a week ago Tuesday, when that old controversy came up, and the radio host, he threatens to fire them perhaps, and all kinds of stuff. So when everything blew up, but he was asked about, going out and finding players.
Well, first of all, where are you going to go to get any players? Seriously, where are you going to go to get any players for the next week against San Francisco?
Well, I don't know, maybe Tennessee? That might have been a good place to
start. Where are you going to go, Joe?
I don't know. Maybe Cleveland? That might have been a good place to go. How about that? Or the Las Vegas Raiders, perhaps? Maybe that would have been a good place to go.
Rams?
Yeah, Rams, perhaps. So there are a lot of places to go, Jerry, that you could have found a wide receiver or some help in some form or fashion. The Texans just got a former Pro Bowl linebacker in Devin White, who really made his bones with Tampa Bay. And that's where he played his best ball. The Eagles signed him to a one-year contract this offseason and then released him a couple of weeks ago. And they said they wanted to release him because he really wasn't in their plan, so he could catch on. somewhere else, and he has caught on, the Houston Texans, and they need some defensive help. So hopefully Devin White will be able to help them in that respect. But the big deal is, I mean, it's just the rich get richer. And I know Patrick Mahomes has been able to work his magic with nobody. But now he's got somebody. He's got a very reliable wide receiver. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins, when he was with the Texans, was one of the best wide receivers in the league.
When healthy in Arizona.
Yeah, for many years. And the guy just flat out gets open and he catches the football. So I think Patrick Mahomes has got to be very happy today. And they get him for a 5th-round draft pick, and they get Tennessee to pick up most of his salary. That's the good part about it for Kansas City. 5th-round pick could turn into a 4th-round pick depending on how well Hopkins performs. But if I recall, the Cowboys gave up a 4th-round pick for a guy by the name of Trey Lance. And that didn't work out too well. So a DeAndre Hopkins might have been a little bit better than that. But
Jerry said he loves that trade.
Well, I know he says that. And he was, look, I'm going to go to my grave saying this. He was hoping beyond hope that Trey Lance would have something that he could not pay Dak Prescott the money that he's paid Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
So
that was absolutely the reasoning behind it. It's just, it was faulty logic from the general manager of trying to bring somebody in during the season
when he couldn't play or do anything.
To try and get them up to speed, and then all of their contracts are expiring at the same time. It's not like you had an extra year with him to kind of make this decision. All the quarterbacks' contracts were expiring at the end of the year. So basically all you had was this offseason to make that determination.
That is absolutely right. We're going to talk more Cowboys when R.J. Ochoa from Blogging the Boys joins us here in about, 20 minutes or so, something like that. I'm very curious to get R.J.'s take on the fan tour controversy that's going on in Dallas right now, and there's obviously a lot to talk about when it comes to that. Mike McCarthy did address the media today, and he's responding to comments made by his boss, Jerry Jones. We'll talk about that when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Morning Huddle.
I don't want him knowing my trash.
No, yeah, like somebody.
Oh, no.
I don't want a listener to know.
There's some things I need to burn.
To pick up my trash because he might go through my stuff.
I don't want anybody to see like the empty, like Flomax bottles and Viagra.
Yeah,
like, hey, man, this. No, that preparation hates. That's for my eyes.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Underdog is the place to be if you are a sports fan looking to win money while watching sports. And I love playing the pick'em game, where all you have to do is choose higher or lower on player stats, and you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Obviously, you've got 2 Monday night games tonight. The NBA starts tomorrow, World Series on Friday. You want to get in and try to win some money. Go download the Underdog Fantasy app and sign up with my promo code STAR. Now, right now, Underdog is running a special promo or bonus almost every single day, like Profit Boost, where you can pump up your winnings in just a tap when you apply the boost to eligible entries. Discounts where you get adjusted projections on certain player stats to give you a better shot at getting the win. And they're basically a sure thing with some of their free picks. Player just has to go higher than 0.5 for that pick to win. All new users get a free pick, and it's boost over. From now until October 27th, you can boost your profit on all NBA entries by 20%. Underdog is literally giving you unlimited profit boost to make basketball picks. Download the app now, sign up with my promo code STAR, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Promo code STAR at Underdog Fantasy. Must be over 18, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or go to ncpgambling.org.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Let us explain. If you buy a diamond at Diamonds Direct today and decide in the future you want to upgrade to a larger diamond, Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. For example, let's say you bought her a $5,000 diamond last year, but now she wants to upgrade to a $6,000 diamond. Diamonds Direct will give you $5,500 toward the new one. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Whether that first diamond was $3,000 or $30,000, you get 10% more. Who else does this? And unlike other stores who claim to offer diamond upgrades, at Diamonds Direct, there's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Come and discover real value and buy with confidence. Proud to call Alamo City home. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Every 4 years, the world watches. Every corner kick, every save, every pass. The world watches its most beautiful game played at its highest level. And for a moment, the world stops turning for soccer. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026, supporting possibilities turned into achievements on the biggest stage. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America N.A. member FDIC.
Want to feel better and look better? Been experiencing dry skin, lack of desire in life, hair loss, brain fogginess, or low libido? Men, this goes for you too. All of this can be due to imbalances with your hormones, and we can help. Just taking hormones is not the answer. With state-of-the-art testing and customized wellness plans, we balance your hormones and get you well. It's what we do. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. Call me for your free evaluation, 468-1891.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-9047.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-9047. That's 800-575-9047.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon at 6:30. It's a matchup between 2 undefeated conference opponents as the Aggies take on the LSU Tigers. Presented by Ewald Kubota and the Angry Elephant. Pre-game coverage begins at 5:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We're designing bad plays. We're designing bad concepts. The facts are that there's some of that, but there's also some of execution.
Jerry Jones calling out his head coach. Not by name, but certainly by bad plays and bad concepts. Also calling out some players, however, bad execution. That was Jerry yesterday on 105.3 The Fan, his weekly radio interview. He actually does them a couple of days a week, I think, right? Tuesdays and Fridays is what he normally does. So that was his Tuesday visit. But Mike McCarthy was back at practice, as were all the Cowboys today. Well, obviously he has a press conference every day. And you know the media is going to take what Jerry said yesterday and ask Mike McCarthy all about what Jerry had to say.
Don't really have one. I talk to Jerry all the time. We've had time to go through the self-scout, so I can't really. I didn't see the comments specifically, so but I don't think we have bad concepts in bad place. But I'll go back and check. But we're not where we want to be. I mean, that's clearly, and it ultimately is my responsibility, and I'm fully aware of that. But we are very diligent. We're on top of what we want to do. And just like anything, I just came from a walkthrough, and it's just, walkthroughs have been good, but it always goes back to communication. So, I mean, just going back to the Detroit game, it's the first run of the game. We practiced it a number of times. Got the look we're expecting him, and we had the wrong declaration, based on communication. So at the end of it, we just got to tighten up our communication and make sure our guys are playing fast and the ability to play faster than the opponent. And with that comes confidence, and I think that's what we're clearly working towards, and that's what we want to do Sunday night and get that win.
So that's interesting, and I guess I didn't pick that up the first time around, but Mike McCarthy talking about lack of communication. I mean, really? Lack of communication. Now, that's clearly on the head coach, is it not? And the other coaches that are there. They have to communicate what they want to the players for them to be able to execute. So I'm not sure I understand that, a lack of communication. And we have to tighten that up. What does that mean? We have to tighten that up. I think coaches sometimes get into this coach speak, and they use terms that lack of communication, we have to tighten that up. I'm just not sure exactly what that means, but tighten that up, you just have to communicate better. Is that what tighten that up means? We have to communicate better. That just seems weird. We're going into week number 7 for the week 8, 7th game for the Dallas Cowboys. They're 3-3 in San Francisco on Sunday night. And you look at that game and you think, well, the Cowboys have a real opportunity. But not if they're not communicating. I'm not sure how you fix something like that. Although it seems pretty easy to me. You just communicate better. Am I just being simple-minded here? Just communicate better, and it's like, hey, Dak, run this play right here. I'm not sure exactly where he was going with that, but we did have the injury report come out today. And we already talked about Brandon Aubrey, who was not at practice today because of jury duty, got selected for a jury. If you haven't heard that, he will be on a jury for a felony case. There was some good news, though. Deron Bland did not practice today, although it said that he's close to coming back. The good news is Kalen Carson did practice in full today. He should be back. Ryan Flournoy and Eric Kendricks practiced, but they were limited today. Micah Parsons did not practice today, so not sure that he's going to give it a go. And I don't know. That high sprain, everybody says, 4 to 6 weeks, and it's only been 3. So you might want to make sure that Mike is healthy and ready to go because you're going to play against a really banged-up San Francisco 49er ball club that you ought to be able to compete with at the very least. Right? You would think so. So McCarthy, though, I found this interesting today because Dak Prescott, and not picking on Dak, I'm just stating the facts. I know all of you, when I say Dak Prescott, you're expecting a slam. But I will say this, and it is just a fact. Dak Prescott has 6 interceptions on the season thus far this year. They've played in 6 games, so you figure out the math. That's 1 per game. And Mike was asked about Dak's turnovers.
Well, I mean, obviously those statistics don't help for an overall, performance. But yeah, I think clearly, number 1, we're -6 in the turnover ratio. So that's the huge blinking light for us. And I think just like anything in the game of football, where you put your time, the time on task, taking care of the football, taking it away, and we've added some drills today. It's just like anything. You have so much time, but you got to move the emphasis around because that's the lowest of our time here, and it's unacceptable. So we got to take care of the football, and everybody understands that. So, but I mean, there's a lot of other positive things that he's obviously does with the offense, the management of the offense, the moving pieces that go on, that all falls under the management of the quarterback. I think having a rookie center, I think our cadence has gotten off to a really good start this year, and that has been a struggle in past years. So I think all those things that don't show up on the stat sheet is part of playing quarterback in this league. So damn excited and glad he's our quarterback.
Well, that's good, and I'm glad that you're glad. I would say that it doesn't make any big deal, and I don't know. I can hear Minnix in my ear right now. Well, they weren't all Dak's fault. I'm sure there would be some of that today if Jason was here. But some of those interceptions have been really bad and untimely, to say the least. And they've really hurt the Cowboys in a lot of ways, especially in those blowout losses. I'll just take the Detroit game, for example. I mean, if he doesn't throw a couple of those, I think the Cowboys stay in that game. And it's certainly, if nothing else, it's not as embarrassing as it turned out to be. But now they've got to go face their kryptonite, and that's the San Francisco 49ers. Again, a wounded San Francisco 49ers ball club. They have got nobody. I don't know if Deebo Samuel's going to play. The guy just got released from the hospital yesterday, suffering from pneumonia. So I would say he's questionable at the very least whether he's going to play. Brandon Ayuk is out. Christian McCaffrey is not going to play. The Niners have a bye after this game, so they're projecting that McCaffrey could come back after the bye. So he's not going to come back in this game. And you've got some players that are, quite frankly, banged up, and Brock Purdy is going to have to make it happen. Now, the one thing that the Niners do have is they've got a run game. And that might be their saving grace, because the Cowboys up to now have not been able to stop the run at all. So that may be where they're going to try and put their money and see if they can get it done. But I mentioned that it's the Cowboys' kryptonite, and a lot of that has happened to Mike McCarthy, obviously. So he was asked today if those past failures against San Francisco mean anything in this game coming up.
Definitely. I mean, you're always motivated each and every week. I mean, probably the best game for us to watch is last year's game. I think there's a lot of carryover from the game. Obviously they got a different defensive coordinator as far as how they're calling it. Their offensive approach is still very similar. So you look at all those things, but I think just like anything, and it was so evident on Monday, and it's always healthy to have extra time to spend on yourself. And we, regardless of who we're playing, regardless of what happened last year, 2 years ago, it really is irrelevant. And we need to improve, and that's in a number of different areas, and that's what we're working on. And so, and that's what it'll come down to Sunday night.
That's what it'll come down to. So we'll see if that motivation, extra motivation, will help. Again, it helps just the fact that the Niners are as banged up as they are. Cowboys still banged up as well. Pledge?
Wait a minute. Did he start that off saying, yeah, there's a lot we can take from last year's game, and then go on to say different defensive coordinator?
Yeah.
I don't put any stock in anything from previous year.
Yes.
Did he contradict himself?
Yes, he did.
From the beginning to the end of that?
He did.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, you heard that correctly. And
I think there's a communication problem.
Yeah. And I think it's because he's communicating. And if he's talking to players the way he just talked to us, you're exactly right. I can see where there's a communication problem. No question about it. What does RJ Ochoa think about Mike McCarthy's communication problem? What does RJ think about the fan gate that's going on there with the Dallas Cowboys? All that controversy that is there. How about Jerry Jones calling out his head coach? We had so much to talk about. RJ Ochoa with Blogging the Boys. He will join us next here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star. First, though, I want to talk to you about Stevens Roofing. Been talking about Stevens Roofing for a long time now. Family-owned company, local company, and your roof covers your home, it covers your family, it covers everything that you deem valuable. You need a reliable roofer you can trust. That is Stevens Roofing. And it doesn't matter what kind of project. Stevens Roofing is equipped to do whatever project you have. You have a commercial building that needs a roof, Stevens Roofing can do that. You need a metal roof on your house, Stevens Roofing can do that. They're licensed by the city of San Antonio. Estimates are always free. All you have to do is give them a call, 210-785-0994. And if you're like me and just about everybody else on the planet these days, you're looking to save a little bit of money. So if you've been thinking about going solar, well, guess what? Stevens Roofing has you covered there as well. And solar panels are increasingly affordable. They can save you money on your monthly utility bills. They often increase the value of your home. And there are options to keep the lights on if the grid goes down. That's all of a sudden important. Stevens has a team of certified experts who will deliver solar solutions that are tailored to your specific needs. So for roofing or for solar, call the local company that's been trusted for decades. Call Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994. Stevens Roofing has your family covered, so give them a call, 210-785-0994.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, NFL is back. We're talking Vikings and Rams.
And the Spurs start their season. We'll preview it all. Morning Huddle starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
For a limited time, get a free K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut water softener. Clean, great-tasting water at your kitchen sink. Hurry before they're gone.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
When you are just craving something salty and packs a crunch, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds is your crunch time decision. Game day just got a whole lot crunchier thanks to the powerhouse snack, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're talking about crispy, golden bites of pure awesomeness. Pork rinds are your MVP snack. And get this, they're low carb and high in protein, so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe Pork Rinds at H-E-B today.
We all expect our home to protect everything we love. But here in Texas, we don't expect the ways water is breaking down our foundations and damaging our homes. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is shifting. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Foundation Support Specialists. Make sure your investment is protected. Get your free inspection at FoundationSupportSpecialists.com.
When there's work to do, ground to break, and a reputation to uphold, you need the powerful, durable Kubota RTVX, North America's #1 selling diesel utility vehicle. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months or save up to $1,000. Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced. Let our professional parts people test your battery for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The HURT app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. HURT is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download HURT now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The HURT app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the HURT app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at TSAOG.com.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? I guarantee she does. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates, attorneys at law. If you're considering divorce, it's absolutely crucial to understand your options right now. Don't let alimony catch you off guard. Protect what you've built and secure your hard-earned assets. Visit TexasDivorce.com. At Barton & Associates, we focus on navigating the complexities of divorce law to ensure you're not left vulnerable. Divorce is tough, but you have a choice. Take control of the process or allow your spouse to dictate the terms. If you're serious about safeguarding what you have built and your financial future, Barton & Associates is the team for you. We'll act swiftly and decisively, ensuring that you're not taken advantage of. Call Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. Or visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
Everything's lower in Texas at Total Wine & More, where our new inflation-busting prices are dropping the cost on your favorite spirits, wines, and beers. Now, our low prices are even lower on 1,300 items here at your Total Wine in Dallas, where you'll find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Look at RJ rocking out over there. I see him on there. Hi, everybody. This is The Blitz. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnix under the weather today, so he's resting and recuperating. But RJ Ochoa is a machine. He just keeps going and going and going. Nothing can stop that guy. RJ Ochoa, blogging the boys, joins us now as he does every Wednesday at this time. RJ, how in the world is your hump day going, my friend?
It is great to be with you, Joe. I hate football so much, and I wish it had never become a part of my life. Thinking about getting into like Pokemon cards or just anything else to take away time and attention from me.
Well, I don't know why you say that, RJ, because you cover the team that gives you so much fodder, so much stuff to talk about that you'll never run out. There's something new and fascinating and controversial every day.
I mean, they didn't even play a game last week. You know what I mean? And it is kind of a trope to say like, oh, the Cowboys will find a way to make a headline. They did. Like, they have nothing good has happened. Like, this is I just want to be left alone to commiserate in peace. You know what I mean? Like, but instead they're dragging us to the middle of the town square so everyone can laugh at us.
We're visiting with RJ Ochoa, blogging the boys, joining us because of the Buyers Barricade guest line, or on the Buyers Barricade guest line. And RJ, I've got to ask you, have you ever taken a tour of the Star there in Frisco?
I never have, actually. I've taken lots of tours of lots of places and toured Texas Stadium many times, but I've just never, it's never really worked out. I've gallivanted around the facility, but never in a proper and a formal and a guided capacity.
Well, when you took a tour of Texas Stadium, did you see any players? Were you disrupting them in any form or fashion?
I was not, but I will have you know. So twice, if you recall, 2 years ago, Jerry Jones night the first night of the NFL draft, he flashed the kind of big board for the Cowboys on a paper. Remember, he flashed it to everybody to prove, hey, we really believe in Tyler Smith.
Yeah.
And this was actually before my time, but blogging the boys actually deciphered two different Dallas Cowboys draft boards in the past. One, because somebody left it available during a tour of sorts, and a picture of it surfaced on the internet, and BTB, again, without my help at the time, was able to blast it out to the world. So that's the kind of information you can find when you're strolling around.
Well, I find it fascinating. Obviously, I saw you retweeted this, and actually Micah Parsons commented on your retweet, I think disagreeing the way with the article itself. The article is well written and well done by ESPN, and a lot of former players are saying what a zoo it is and a distraction when you have those tours coming in. I think Micah's, one of his comments was some guys just can't handle the bright lights. You know, RJ, and I don't know where you stand on this, and I'll ask you, but for me, I just don't see the controversy here. I really don't see it. And I mean, if these guys can't handle a few people walking around the building during the week, I'm just not sure what the beef is.
I think there are a lot of things that are true here. I like to say that multiple things can be true, and typically that's with situations where there are two things, right? Now, this article was written by Kaylin Kaler, who is outstanding. Rob and I actually had her on the Morning Huddle at the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, so she's a friend of the station. That being said, I don't think that anyone legitimately believes that the tours are why they can't win the Super Bowl. So I know you're not fighting that point, but if anyone is, no one is opposing you. I do think that, history is written by the winners. And so when you don't win, you don't get a chance to do that. And so when you do different things, you sort of offer the opportunity for people to point and laugh and mock. And they are the only team that does certain things, including behaving in this particular capacity. So it is, I wouldn't say fair, but it becomes a thing to point and say, well, you're doing that thing and nobody else is doing it. And so when you lose, and you lose in dramatic fashion, the tours or the sun in the stadium, those things become bigger than they actually are. A lot of people have pointed out these are just jaded, bitter exes, Joe. But this has been a thing for a long time. You've got several players mentioned in this piece: Dante Fowler, Kelvin Joseph, Jaron Curse, Noah Igbenogany. We heard Dalton Schultz obviously was the first person to kind of do this. That's referenced in the article. But if you remember now, almost 10 years ago, when Cole Beasley, not 10 years ago, like 5 years ago, when he left the Cowboys, he talked about the same thing, and everybody laughs. And so I do think there's enough to at least look at this and say, there may be a little bit of a point here. I mean, there may be something worth talking about. Not that it's, a 10 out of 10 on the seriousness scale, but it is something that clearly bothers some people.
Well, obviously it bothers some people. Most of those people no longer play for the Dallas Cowboys, and I guess they're able to talk about it now. I don't know. I don't find it a big deal. Those guys do. We'll go with it. I just think sometimes we look for reasons to throw rocks at Jerry Jones. He's given us plenty of reasons to throw rocks at him, but I think you're right. When it comes to the sun in the stadium or the tours or, I don't know, the wind blew out of the north today, it's all Jerry Jones's fault.
Yeah, and I mean, they do themselves no favors, to be clear, right? And if they ultimately win and they Sinatra style it, right, they can laugh and they can say, look, man, we won and we had these tours. And did you see, if you pay $90, you can have a conversation with an AI Jerry Jones, which was kind of buried under all this. But I think the most important takeaway from it was again, something else that got lost in just the chaos of this all. There's a quote from Jerry Jones in there where he says that he seeks out the negative things about his team and that he kind of leans into them in the sake, of generating attention. Now, you're right. If you're playing for 100,000 people every Sunday and you're letting 30 people gawking at you make a big deal, it's fair to wonder whether or not you're cut out for this line of work. But it can also be true that isn't necessarily conducive to the best possible work that you can do, and that your owner constantly twisting the knife or pouring kerosene on the fire is doing nobody any favors. They suck right now, right? Like, we agree with this, and everybody is talking about how they suck because of things like that. That would get old. I don't think that that's controversial or weird or anything like that.
That I can agree with, absolutely, and I'm glad you feel the same way. I think it's a very small piece and really insignificant in the bigger scheme of things. What I do think is interesting is Jerry Jones going on the radio yesterday and calling out his head coach, who happens to be the play caller for this particular team, and say we've got bad plays and bad concepts. What do you think about those comments?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to disagree based on results. And again, multiple facets here. One, Mike McCarthy is now under fire this week, not because Stephen A. said something about him, not because Kyle Shanahan took a shot across the boat. No, because his owner and his general manager turned up the heat on him, right? Like, and yeah, you have people who say, like, good, I want them, on edge. Like, again, not a really peaceful environment to work in. But, there was a data point about a month ago. The Cowboys offense on average at that point of the season, from a width standpoint, if you're talking about the widest part of their offense from one receiver to another, was about 27.2 yards, when all of the Kyle Shanahan offensive trees, or branches of the tree, were about 22 yards wide. So you're talking about more condensed formation. And my biggest takeaway from that is Mike McCarthy believes having space, this is my assumption, is how they thrive. And that's clearly not working. Whereas Kyle Shanahan and his disciples understand that we're going to bunch everybody up and we're going to trust that our guys beat you to that space. And that's how we're going to dominate. And that's worked against the Cowboys. And I say all that to say because the way the Cowboys are operating offensively is not modern. It is not up to date with current trends. It is behind the times. And in addition to all that, they don't have proper personnel. I mean, they have CeeDee Lamb. Cool. That's it, man. Like, it is CeeDee Lamb and some dudes. And I hate to say that about Jalen Tolbert and Kevontae Turpin, but they're asking Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy, for that matter, to make lemonade. He's on an episode of Chopped, Joe, and here's some Fruit Loops, here's some baking soda, here's some parsley. Let's see what you got.
That's a good way to put it. And, I find it funny that when Jerry had the dust-up, we're visiting with R.J. Ochoa, by the way, blogging the boys. Jerry had his dust-up with the hosts at 105.3 The Fan. He basically asked them, where am I going to go and find players? Well, I think a lot of teams are finding players. We got a DeAndre Hopkins. We got an Amari Cooper. We got a Devontae Adams. And other teams are finding players, and the Cowboys just don't seem to want to go out and sign anybody else.
No, and I mean, look, if you're trying to gotcha Jerry Jones, it's not gonna take too much effort, right? It's gonna be pretty easy to disprove a point of his. But if you're expecting that to lead to some substantial change, then you're in the wrong line of work, because the man will contradict himself in the same sentence in these interviews. And so, look, it's not vogue to say that Patrick Mahomes is struggling, but he is. I don't think that that's a demerit against him. He's still on track to be the greatest of all time. But even still, he is Patrick Mahomes. He's unquestionably the best quarterback in the NFL. And his team says, well, do you need some help? We're gonna get you some help. So we can all acknowledge Dak Prescott is not Patrick Mahomes, right? Not a hot take or anything like that. So why would the Cowboys then not help him? It's this weird thing where these quarterbacks are rather more specifically where Dak Prescott gets paid, and all of a sudden it turns into he has to elevate, he has to do everything. And I'm not saying that can't be true to a certain degree, but the Buffalo Bills gave Josh Allen Amari Cooper. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, who will be in the Hall of Fame someday in spite of the last couple of years, got his old friend back. I mean, I don't understand. There is no logical way to understand the Cowboys' refusal to help Dak, to help Mike McCarthy. But, this is the way they want to go. The only way you could truly parse it is that they don't want to part with capital.
Well, it has to be that, and I can't see it any other way. We're visiting with R.J. Ochoa, blogging the boys. Good friend of the show. Obviously, he's a family member. That's for sure. But when you look at it, RJ, think about it. I think the next two games, the San Francisco game, the Atlanta game, will tell the tale of the season. If the Cowboys can manage to win both of those games, I have to believe Jerry will go out and do something, because they are you got to figure at that point in time, they still got a shot at the division and certainly a very good shot at the playoffs.
Yeah, and I mean, you hate to see injuries and things like that, but if Jaden Daniels is hurt, that certainly impacts Washington's potential ceiling. Obviously, Philadelphia looked stout last week, but it is the Giants. I mean, even the Cowboys are able to beat them. And so you're right. I mean, you win two games. Look, life happens really fast in the NFL. And you win two games, you're 5-3. All of a sudden, all this feels forever ago, and everything's hunky-dory once again. But I will say, if you go into that Eagles game, right now, Joe, the Cowboys are riding a 5-game streak dating back to last year at home of allowing 415 total yards or more. They've gone 5 straight games allowing 415 total yards or more. That is tied for the longest streak in NFL history in terms of consecutive games at home. So 2 weeks from now is their next home game, and it's against the Philadelphia Eagles. So if you spin further out of control and the Eagles come and put you in first place alone, then, I mean, to your point, I do think that is a flashpoint for the Cowboys. I mean, it's right after the election, and so it's a big kind of everyone's on edge about everything in life at that point in time. And if they pull off 3 in a row, they get to 6-3, then yeah, all of a sudden maybe people are back, getting ready for Monday Night Football against the Houston Texans. But if they fall further down this rabbit hole, then I mean, I think we might look back at the middle of October and say those were the sunny days as far as this season was concerned.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. As much as I say, if they win those 2 games, they're back in it. If they lose, you got to figure the season is pretty much in the tank. I mean, again, and I agree with you, the NFL happens fast, but boy, if you go 3-5, you're in trouble.
To be fair, they did fall to 3-5 6 years ago and still wound up winning the NFC East. But they did trade for Amari Cooper in the middle of that season and went on this incredible, miraculous run that also partly involved the Eagles collapsing in their title defense season. So football is funny and sports are funny, and a lot of things happen outside of your control. And I know that, look, everything feels bad, right? Like our pets' heads are falling off here. Like this is the bad place. But all of their goals, and I know the jokes, but all of their goals are in front of them. They're 500. They can win the division. They can still reach the NFC Championship game, win the Super Bowl if you want to really live in La La Land. But they're very close to it really kind of falling apart. I don't think they would fire Mike McCarthy, but I also think that they're just close from a fed up standpoint. The air is thick. I mean, it is so tough, and you can't go 24 hours without some sort of headline that is annoying. And so I do think that people are exhausted of rolling their eyes. And if that works for just you and I, RJ and Joe, it has to wear on the Dak Prescotts and the Micah Parsons of the world.
Well, RJ, I'm going to say there is some character on that Cowboys football team in Brandon Aubrey, who could have gotten out of jury duty. He went and he was selected as one of the 12 in a case. So Brandon Aubrey gets the character award of the day.
Good for him. You know, they give you that speech at the beginning of it, and I don't mean to undermine, the civic duty that is jury duty, but, how it's the most noble thing you can do for your country. And Brandon Aubrey was the only person not taking a nap, today when they said that. So good for him, but in a real and serious football way, that's kind of a huge threat, man. Like, he is the point-scoring option for this team. So, Joe, tell me he's not going to miss his first field goal on Sunday night, and then Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth are blaming District 527 or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's a felony case, RJ. And we're just fortunate. Somebody asked me earlier, Bob Ballou with KI Sports in Austin, what Cowboy's trial is it? And so, that it goes with the territory, right?
Yeah, obviously not somebody he knows personally, because if not, he would have been able to get out of it. So at least there seemed to be at least 6 degrees of separation there.
There does. RJ Ochoa, blogging the boys. RJ, it's always a lot of fun, my friend. Maybe better news next week to talk about.
Probably not, but I'll be here nonetheless.
I know you will be, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, RJ Ochoa and all guests appear via the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control rental and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. RJ Ochoa always has a unique perspective on things. That is for sure, and so that's why we like having him on. He unique perspective. I like that. I think that's pretty much where it needs to end. Oh, my goodness. A lot going on. Again, did you see LeBron and his son made NBA history last night? We've got that to talk about. We got so much going on. Our final hour of the Blitz. I don't want it to end. I probably could have talked to RJ Pledge for another 2 hours with all the stuff going on with the Dallas Cowboys.
You should have.
I probably should have just kept him on. He would have stayed, don't you think? He's got nothing else to do.
What's he doing?
It's not
like there's anything happening up there anyway.
Nothing happening. My goodness. He's just retweeting stuff. That's all he's doing. No, RJ's plugged into the Cowboys, and we appreciate him very much. We appreciate you guys listening as well. Oh, by the way, the Blitz is going to be live tomorrow out at Little Woodrow's. Out at, where are we here? Yeah, Little Woodrow's on Braun Road. Thursday night football tomorrow night between Minnesota and Los Angeles, the Rams. Flight by Yingling is putting all that together. We appreciate them. They will be there. You've got a chance to win some great stuff, like tickets to the Dallas-Philadelphia game in Arlington. And you just heard RJ Ochoa talking about that, and that could be a huge game, one way or the other. Not to mention, though, you get tickets to that game, plus you get tickets to the Bill Bates Ultimate Tailgate Party. It all takes place November 10th, and it's all brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. We're going to continue on with the Cowboys and your thoughts when we return here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville. 1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday night at 7:20. After a bye, it's the first of 2 road games. Dallas and San Francisco taking on the 49ers.
I like this kind of party!
Pre-game starts at 6. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
You asked for it, you got it! How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
So you mean to tell me this man is laying on the ground with a serious injury? Now that's the time that you feel it's appropriate?
Cheers in Cleveland as their quarterback.
Is your everyday
goes down
congestion
still
preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle ultrafine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's big moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex, breathe, use as directed.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like North America's #1 home fire safety brand, Kidda. Because on a day full of football sounds you love, like fight songs, roaring crowds, and your favorite commentators.
Like me, Kirk Herbstreit.
The last sound you want to hear is... Defend your game time with Kidda and the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Based on total household installations as of December 2023.
If you're a man and you live in or around the San Antonio area, you need to listen to this message. Do you find yourself stressing about or even avoiding intimate moments? Do you find yourself thinking, is it going to work? Does your partner look at you and ask, is it me? Did I do something wrong? Do you get frustrated when things don't live up to their expectations? Men, you're not alone, and we have a solution. For over a decade, Mojo has delivered 100% guaranteed male performance results. Mojo truly works every single time. Guys, Mojo works when all other things fail, and its proprietary formula has helped thousands of men live their best lives again. Yeah! Mojo is 100% natural, blood pressure safe, diabetic friendly, and fast acting. And Mojo is now available in both spray and capsule formulas, exclusively at Pure Line Nutrition. Call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today at 210-494-2210. That's Pure Line Nutrition, 210-494-2210.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
When you buy a new house, you might say,
"Shut the front door."
Winning.
No, seriously, shut the front door. We own this house now.
But you actually need to say,
"Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there."
That's right. The local State Farm agent is there to help you choose the coverage you need.
Welcome to my crib. No one says that anymore, but I don't care.
So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
House of Cards and Collectibles is having a huge 10th anniversary sale this Saturday. Thousands of unsorted sports cards will be on sale along with discounted card supplies. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, One Piece, and Lorcana will also be sale priced. Bring the kids for the costume contest, take pictures with Pikachu, and free door prizes every hour. Remember, this Saturday, doors open at 12 noon. House of Cards and Collectibles at 2105 Vance Jackson. See you there.
911, what's your emergency?
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. In San Antonio, 5 domestic violence calls happen every hour.
The time to end domestic violence in our community is now.
Step out of violence.
You are not alone.
Call 211 for help. Call 911 if it's an emergency.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to SASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an Audience National contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Dallas Cowboys kicker Brandon Aubrey missed practice today. He was doing his civic duty. He was selected to a 12-person jury for a felony case in Tarrant County's 297th District Court. No clear timetable for how long that case will last. The Kansas City Chiefs have a wide receiver. His name is DeAndre Hopkins. They got him in a trade with the Tennessee Titans for a 5th-round draft pick that could ultimately turn into a fourth-rounder.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Guess what day it is?
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minnix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Hump day.
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 Yeah, happy hump day, everybody. I hope you're having a great hump day. Hey, it's 5 o'clock. If you're getting off at 5 o'clock, getting in your car, turning on the radio, 94.1. Thank you for doing that, and I hope you're having a great hump day. Great hump day. Wednesdays are always great. You know, there's something about Wednesday, because every day kind of has its own little theme, right? Everybody hates Monday, although during football season, I love Mondays. They're one of the greatest days for work days. Tuesdays kind of, it really doesn't have a place. Wednesday's hump day, and then Thursday is kind of like just getting ready for the weekend. And then Friday's Friday, don't you think? I don't know. I like it that way. But glad you decided to share a little bit of your time with us today. We appreciate it. However you may be doing that, whether that is on our YouTube page, thank you there. You can certainly comment there. Please like and subscribe us there on our YouTube page. If you're listening in the car, driving around San Antonio, be careful out there. I'm sure the traffic is bad. I know construction's bad because it's everywhere these days, so be careful of all of that. But thank you for listening. And on Twitter, you can follow me at Joe Reinagel 210. That's my handle everywhere, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, all of that kind of stuff. At Joe Reinagel 210. I wanted to give away one of these Texas Rangers, what do you call them, fake? Phony? Not phony, but that's not the word.
Commemorative?
Commemorative.
Replica?
Replica. That's the word I'm looking at. Fake, right? But it looks beautiful. It's swanky. And I think there were some money somewhere. If you guys have seen those, we don't have any here in the studio, but I know some of y'all have seen them. If you do that, you need to be following the San Antonio Sports Star Instagram page. And I want you to do this because Ryan is on standby right now. I've got a phrase for you, and you're going to hate this one. All right, you're going to hate this one, but I want you to send the phrase on our Instagram page. Thank you, Jerry. All right, that's the phrase you send. If you do that and you're following our Instagram page, San Antonio Sports Star, he's going to put your name in a hat. He'll draw for a winner. He'll let me know who that is, and I will let you know. But do that right now. Thank you, Jerry, is the phrase that you need. It can be any Jerry. It doesn't have to be Jerry Jones. If you know a Jerry and you want to say thanks to Jerry, do that. But do that, and you're going to win one of those replica Texas Rangers championship rings coming up here in just a moment. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnix, my partner in crime, is under the weather today, not feeling so good today. So he took the day off, hopefully to recover and get well, and we'll be back with us sooner rather than later. But we have so much to talk about, and you know, typically when you cover the Dallas Cowboys, there's always a lot to talk about. There's Fangate today. There's Jerry talking yesterday. Mike McCarthy responding to that today. All of that kind of stuff is going on. And then we had the NBA season begin last night with a couple of games. And, of course, the big one that everybody – well, let's start with Boston. Boston looked unbelievable yesterday. But I think coming out and wanting to send a message early on, they certainly did that to the New York Knicks. They just roasted them. 61 three-point shots they put up last night. They tied an NBA record but couldn't break it. They missed their last 13 three balls. They only needed one of those to break the record, but they didn't get it done. But they smoked New York, and Boston's off to a great start. The Lakers beat Minnesota, and, of course, history made. You all know how I feel about it, and I'm not going to go into it. But LeBron and Bronny getting on the floor at the same time, making NBA history. Good for the James family, I will say that, even though it was a staged event, and I think it was a clown show. However, happy for them and happy for everybody that liked that. Good news. Bronny didn't play well, but he didn't play a lot. It was 3 minutes or so. And that was about it. More NBA tonight, and of course the Spurs kick off their season tomorrow on the road in Dallas. They'll take on the Mavericks, and everybody looking forward to that. And I just opened up the computer here, and I find this interesting. And I hope the NBA continues stuff like this. The NBA is investigating Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers. They're looking into his knee injury status. Joel Embiid right now is not going to play for at least the first 3 games of the NBA season. He's 30 years old. He's had injuries all over the place. But the NBA wants to look into the 76ers' handling of his health thus far. Shams Charania is the one reporting this. He didn't play in a single preseason game. He's slated to miss the first 3 games of the regular season. They take on the Bucks tonight, the Raptors on Friday, the Pacers on Sunday. Left knee management is what the 76ers are calling this. Left knee management. Now, I'm happy the NBA is looking into this because if there's nothing wrong with his knee and they're just resting him, you know the problems there. People want to see Joel Embiid play. And if he's just not playing because left knee management, just rest. And Pop used to say because Tim Duncan was old, he would put that on the injury report. Well, look, you've got to play in a certain number of games, and the NBA gets a little upset, not only for the fans there in the arenas, but for the TV folks as well. Because the TV folks are paying a lot of money, and Adam Silver certainly doesn't want a kerfuffle with the TV people. He doesn't want to get in trouble with them because that's where they make most of their money. But I find it interesting. This article goes into he hadn't suited up since returning from Olympic play. He's had several knee injuries. He had several knee injuries last year, including a torn left meniscus. He was a limited participant in training camp, failed to take the floor for any preseason games, and the NBA wants to look into it to see how they're handling it. So not only should they look into that, they should look into the Los Angeles Clippers, how they're handling number 2, because I just saw a report from Charania that says he is expected to miss several weeks now with his injury. Look, these are so-called stars that need to be on the floor. I think Philadelphia's in trouble. I really think Philadelphia's in trouble this year. I know they've got some good players, but I just think they're in trouble. I don't think Embiid, if they get 50 games out of that guy, I'll be shocked. I really will be. So NBA's investigating that. Hopefully it will continue, and we'll keep going with these investigations just because I think they're needed, and fans deserve it, whether they're watching on TV or at arena.
What are you trying to find out by investigating this? Because we do know that Kawhi is hurt. He couldn't play in the Olympics because of that knee.
Kawhi's always hurt.
I understand, but you could say the same thing about Joel Embiid,
absolutely,
who has gone through knee issues, has not played since the Olympics, has.
Well, I think what they're concerned about, Pledge, is the fact that they're listing him on the injury report with left knee management. Well, what the hell is that? I mean, if it's a left knee sprain, is it a left knee contusion? Is it left knee what? And I think the NBA wants to know what it is and have doctors back it up. I think that's what they're talking about. You can't just say, well, load management. You can't do that. They want to get away from that. That's why they put the rules in that they've done. So I think that's the issue that they have, and they're probably calling the Sixers and saying, what the hell is left knee management? What does that mean? And you need to tell us. You need to say, okay, well, his knee's this, and this is why we're resting him. And I think that's what they're doing. And I applaud the NBA for that. I do. I think they need to do more of this. Look, these guys need to play ball. It's what they're paid to do. They need to play.
I mean, sure, but we applauded Pop when he did it. Did we not?
Well, did we? I mean, sure, we laughed at it and thought it was funny. Tim Duncan's old. Rest. But they could do that back then. It was acceptable. It's no longer acceptable anymore. And I applaud Adam Silver for not making that acceptable anymore. If you're hurt, you're hurt. That's one thing. If you're legit hurt, yes. But if you're just resting this guy because you're afraid to use him or you want to save him for later in the season, then that's unacceptable. You got to play. They play 82 games. You got to play, 68 of them. That's the expectation. And if he's not doing that just because they're resting him and want him rested, what's to stop everybody from doing that? Well, I don't know. Let's see. Wemby's we got left knee management tonight. He's not going to play in Dallas. That's a problem.
I mean, we've already seen that. He had
Wemby?
a minutes restriction for the most of the beginning of last year.
Well, Wemby?
Yeah. Huge talking point was his minutes restriction.
Yeah, but he played most games. It's not like he was sitting on the bench, right? He was playing. People were seeing him play. Embiid's not even playing. He's sitting on the bench and not doing anything because of left knee management. What the hell is that? You want to restrict minutes? Okay, do that. But let's play ball. And there's also a minutes deal. You got to play at least 20 minutes per game for it to count. Right.
All NBA honors.
And Wemby wants to do that. I guarantee you he does. He's made that very clear. Joel Embiid, maybe not. Maybe he doesn't give a damn. He's a 30-year-old guy who's had a lot of injuries. But still, you don't mind accepting that paycheck every day.
Sure.
Go out and earn it. Same with Kawhi Leonard. It's the same with a lot of these guys. Go play ball.
But a lot of these, I'm sure, if I'm the organization and I know we applauded it when the Spurs did it, I'm trying to keep these guys as healthy as possible for when it really matters at the end of the year. And that's what Pop was attempting to do with the way he handled the load management at the time. And they've changed it, and players are adapting, and the NBA is trying to adapt again. But in the end, I do think, and I think fans appreciate the fact that, yeah, while they're missing games, I understand the greater good, and the greater good is a championship, and it does me no good if Joel Embiid isn't playing at the end of the year to try and get us that championship.
It doesn't do you much good if he's playing in the postseason to get you a championship. Just ask the Philadelphia fans. Doesn't do you much good there at all. Look, it was acceptable when Pop did it. It's no longer acceptable, or it shouldn't be acceptable. I mean, you hear the old school guys, Charles Barkley, they never set out for load management. I mean, these guys are supposed to be the best conditioned athletes in the world. And you're only playing 60 games? I mean, come on. But you're earning a check for 82? It's unacceptable as far as I'm concerned, and they need to play. And I applaud the NBA for investigating. Now, if anything, I don't know if anything will come out of it. Who knows? But, I mean, I applaud them for investigating. They need to do more of that and make it stick. Make it where it's there's some consequences if you're just resting a guy. And, again, if a guy doesn't, 68 games, that gives you, 14 to play with. Okay, maybe that's what the Philadelphia 76ers are doing. They're going to use up 3 right away. And again, maybe Embiid doesn't mind, but the heck with these guys, man. Let them play. Get them on the floor. That's what they're paid to do. It's what the fans want to see. And I tell you what, especially a Philadelphia team, if you're in the Western Conference and Joel Embiid's the only opportunity you get to see him live, and you paid a ton of money to go see him, and he's sitting on the bench, it robs the fans.
I understand that aspect of it, but I also understand the aspect of making sure that the team is as optimal as possible when you need it to be. And it is Pandora's box, and it started right here.
Well, it did, and that's why the NBA changed it, though. We're comparing apples and oranges now. Yes, it happened here. It happened everywhere, and Pop kind of started that trend, but now it's changed because the NBA doesn't want that anymore. So it's apples and oranges now.
But we saw it work because it did prolong the careers of a Tim Duncan, of a Manu Ginobili. They got to play until their 40s, and we're seeing it work with LeBron James. Like, the minutes restriction elongates their careers because of the less wear and tear on their knees. And I think that's why players do it, is to help elongate their career as well.
That's terrific. That's great. But it's not about elongating these guys' careers. It's about them playing for the teams that they're getting paid to play for, so the fans can enjoy seeing them play. The fans that pay the money, because either whether they're watching on TV or going to arenas. I mean, these guys make the money because fans pay to see them play, not sit on the bench or, the greater good. I'm soft. These guys need to play. If you're healthy, you need to play. How about the Spurs, and how healthy is Devin Vassell? Well, Greg Popovich gave us a little bit of a clue on when we might see Devin Vassell on the floor for the San Antonio Spurs. We'll talk about that when we return here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First, though, I want to tell you about Connecticut Quality Water Softeners. I have one in my house, and I love it. It is one of the best things that I've put in my house in a long time. Connecticut's been serving San Antonio for over 50 years. Their products are made in America, and what I love about it is you don't plug it in. It doesn't run on electricity, but it provides soft water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It just makes a difference. It really does in your clothes, in your dishes, in your shower. When you get out of the shower, you just feel a little bit cleaner. And look, I was skeptical. I didn't think Connecticut, it's a water softener. It is so much better than anything else I've ever had. It is incredible. And right now, Connecticut is giving you every opportunity to get one of these quality water softeners, and they're going to give you free stuff to boot. How about this? For a limited time, when you purchase a new Connecticut quality water softener, you're going to get a free reverse osmosis drinking station installed right at your kitchen sink. Purified water, no need to buy bottled water ever again. The coffee tastes better. Anything you use water for tastes better. It is incredible. Outstanding warranty coverage. You won't find a more solid warranty in the industry. And they still have the 90-day challenge. You want to try a Connecticut quality water softener before you buy it? Well, Connecticut will put it in your house for 90 days, no contract, free of charge. If you don't like it, they'll come pick it up. You won't owe them a dime, but I promise you, you will fight them to keep that thing in there. Financing is available. They even have a rental program. Give them a call. Get the process started. 656-PURE, 656-7873, or ConnecticutSA.com. You know the jingle. Sing it with me. It's the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one and has some fun with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
Now, you don't got a contract. You got nothing to lose. Is a 70-yard field goal in the offing soon? Will we see that this year?
Depends on the win this week.
Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast because, of course, you do. You know the best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7. Offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. If you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Indianapolis. Time to start planning your Thanksgiving dinner, and that starts with the turkey. And the best turkeys are from Tri-County Meat Market. Tri-County gets their turkeys from Barber Farms in Colorado. These fresh, all-natural turkeys are never frozen and come between 8 and 24 pounds. Tri-County Meat Market only gets a limited number, so reserve your turkey before they sell out. Pre-order your turkeys and your pies from the Ultimate Cheesecake Bakery now at either Tri-County Meat Market location on Heavener Road or on Ralph Fair Road.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyerforus.com.
Testosterone plays a significant role in regulating fat metabolism and distribution in the body. It also helps to reduce serious health risks down the line. I'm Manny with Rock's Discount Vitamins, and we carry the highest quality natural testosterone boosters on the market. It immediately provides you with more energy, increased libido, increased metabolism, and improves your mood. With 11 San Antonio area locations, find us at rocksdiscountvitamins.com. That's rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God and you for all the support.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates, all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon at 6:30. It's a matchup between two undefeated conference opponents as the Aggies take on the LSU Tigers. Presented by Ewald Kubota and the Angry Elephant. Pre-game coverage begins at 5:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnix off today, a little under the weather. Hopefully a speedy recovery, and he'll be back with us pretty soon. Just saw this tweet from Adam Schefter that I want to get into before we get into the Spurs. It was all about Deebo Samuel in the press conference today in San Francisco. And the question was Deebo Samuel, in fact, pneumonia? Did it turn out to be pneumonia? And what is his prognosis? And Shanahan says it is pneumonia. He's out of the hospital. He got in here yesterday doing better than you'd expect with that stuff, and we'll see how it goes throughout the week. Follow-up question, he's still got a chance to play on Sunday? Shanahan says yes. So we'll see. That would be a hell of a recovery for sure, but they're saying Deebo Samuel may have an opportunity to play. That will certainly help the San Francisco 49ers against the Dallas Cowboys Sunday night. So we'll see how things go there. Want to get into the Spurs because they'll open up their regular season tomorrow. They have to do it on the road in Dallas against those hated Mavericks. That's, yeah. Devin Vassell will not be there. He's not playing. Off-season foot surgery, so he's still recovering. And but it looks like he's getting close. Now, the Spurs told us in the offseason that they were looking at early November, right around November the 1st. Well, today, Greg Popovich met with the media and had a little bit of an update.
He actually scripted today, all the plays and that kind of thing, and went up and down. No contact yet, but we're still hopeful that, the beginning of November sometime, he'll be with us.
the beginning of November. So nothing's really changed as far as that goes, and his prognosis for when he might return to the court. So the Spurs are going to have to play a few games without him. And I think Devin Vassell's a big part of that Spurs chemistry, lineup, all of that kind of stuff. So he's needed, and they want to get him back. It was the third metatarsal head. And I remember asking the doc about that. What is a metatarsal head? And I can't remember what the hell he said. You remember what he said, Pledge? I have no clue. Anyway, it sounds like the top of your toe.
Yeah, it's where the joint connects. It's the top of it.
Look at you. Where'd you go to medical school, Pledge?
University of TSAOG Orthopedics Injury
Exactly
Update.
right. Every Tuesday, right here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We appreciate those guys. So I thought that was interesting. Nothing's really changed, but it at least he's getting out on the court. No contact or anything like that. So that is certainly very, very good news. We've been talking a lot about the NBA and the NBA investigation. If we're with us last segment, the NBA is going to investigate the Philadelphia 76ers and Joel Embiid. He hasn't played a game or done anything really since the Olympics. Hasn't played in a preseason game for Philadelphia, and right now they're saying it's left knee management. He's going to be out for at least the first 3 games. And your thoughts, and I wanted to get Gary on here because, or is it G. Murph? G. Murph, what do you think about Joel Embiid and the NBA investigation?
Well, really and truly, man, I mean, these guys are business entities of themselves, if you will. But in terms of, like, playing both nights of a back-to-back, my proposal is on the first night, let him play the first and third quarter. On the second night, let him play the second and the fourth quarter. Fans in both cities fans of both teams get to see their player, get their money's worth. Joel gets to meet the qualifying 65 game or whatever, he has to meet for the out-season awards or whatnot, and everybody's happy. If he can't, sit there out for a quarter and a half until the next game, and we got to talk about his conditioning and stuff. But I think that's a good idea.
All right, G. Murph, that's not a horrible idea. And I think the NBA rule right now is 20 minutes. Right, it's to qualify in a game, to have played a game, is 20 minutes. So G. Murph's proposal would be adequate, I suppose. It's close. You'd have to play 10 minutes in each quarter. But to qualify, look, back-to-backs are a different animal, and I think for some of these players that are older and have a lot of mileage on their bodies, back-to-backs are tough. They are. To me, it's just this rest and load management and this kind of stuff, and I just think it cheats the fans. That's all. It does, and I think the fans deserve better. Look, you go to a Spurs game or any game, NBA-wise, it's not cheap. It's not. You pay good, hard-earned money to go to these games. You want to see the stars play. That's what you want to see. And a guy like Joel Embiid, if he's not playing, it's disappointing. I mean, let's face it. It's disappointing. And whether it's Joel Embiid or Victor Wembanyama or LeBron James or whomever you want to mention, it's just disappointing. I'm not opposed to these guys having some rest, and I think the NBA's done a pretty good job of putting that buffer in there where, you've got to play a certain number of games to be eligible for any awards. And I don't see anything wrong with that. I really don't. And only having to play, and I'm going to check that, but I'm pretty sure, Pledge, don't you think it's 20 minutes is what you have to play to qualify? I will check that during the break, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And so we'll see. I don't look for the NBA to find anything that they're going to punish Philadelphia for, because I'm sure they'll have somebody say, well, he's this and that, and I recommend that he stays out. And so that's probably what it's going to be. But I just think you're cheating the fans. I really do. It's an 82-game schedule. I wish it wasn't. I really do. It is 20 minutes? Okay. Thank you, Pledge. It is 20 minutes to qualify for a game. I wish the season was shorter. I mean, I do, and I think it would make it more exciting than an 82-game schedule because, honestly, to me, the NBA season kicks off on Christmas Day. What is it, Pledge?
It's 25, and it's a 65-game minimum.
65 games and 25 minutes to qualify. Okay, thank you for that.
No, 20 minutes and 65 games.
20 minutes and 65. All right, there you go. We've got it. We've got it covered. And I don't think that's horrible. 25 minutes? I mean, come on, right? That's nothing. I mean, honestly, it's really not. So good for the NBA. Hopefully something will come out of that. I'm ready for the Spurs to get going, and I know you guys are too. You know, watching basketball last night, and I did watch the first half of that Lakers Minnesota game because I hate to admit it. I did want to see just to see what it was going to be all about, the Bronny LeBron thing. Wanted to see what it was all about, but and I did, and again wasn't impressed in it staged. But having said all of that, it was fun to see basketball back on, and I did watch the Boston. They put on a clinic. They really did, especially three-pointers. They put on a clinic last night. 61 three-pointers, tied an NFL record. LeBron, I did find this comical, and I'm not going to go into it because I know a lot of you are LeBron fans, and a lot of you thought that was good, but I called it a circus. Thought it was a circus, but LeBron says he wasn't trying to do that.
Like you said, we still had a job to do when we checked in. We wasn't trying to make it a circus. We wasn't trying to make it about us. We wanted to make it about the team.
Yeah, okay. You know, see, when I heard that at first, I laughed. Because it was all about the team. All about the team. What do you got?
Bronny has earned that.
And he has. I'm not going to argue that. I think, LeBron James, one of the greatest players ever. And that was a moment for LeBron James. Nobody else. I'm not going to let my head explode. But for
Bronny has earned that.
For LeBron to say it wasn't, they didn't want to make it a circus and it was all about the team. Please. I just say it was a circus. Just do that, because that would make more sense than to say you were doing it for the team. That was not for the team last night. It was for LeBron James. And if you leave it at that, fine. Admit that, fine, done, it's over, and we can move on. Oh, my goodness. Would you go to a tour at Jerry World or the Star in Frisco? I don't know. I would. I would like to. And I think I might even pay the $90 so I can ask AI Jerry a question. We'll talk about that. Big controversy up in Frisco. Jerry World. Step right up, everybody. You'll see Jerry Jones, the AI version. We'll talk about it when the Blitz continues right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Hey, the Golf Club of Texas should be your football watching headquarters. There is no reason not to, because you have everything you need at the Golf Club of Texas to make your football watching enjoyable. Tomorrow night, we got a Thursday night game between Minnesota and the Rams. Ought to be a good one. I think the Rams are trying to make a comeback. We'll see. Minnesota needs a win now that they lost to Detroit last week, so it ought to be a pretty good game, and the Golf Club of Texas is the perfect place to go watch that game. They're going to stay open until the game is completely over. They won't shut down. The food is fantastic. Any kind of drink you can imagine, they will pour for you. You can watch it outside at the bar that's right outside the clubhouse, or you can watch it at the Tin Cup restaurant. It's a beautiful bar inside there, and the service is absolutely fantastic. In fact, you walk into that place, you think it's a country club. It's not, though. It's open to the public 7 days a week, and the golf is fantastic, too. I got a pro tip for you. Call or get online right now at golfclubtexas.com. Golfclubtexas.com. Make your tee time for early Saturday or Sunday morning, and then stick around and watch all the college football or NFL football action right there at the Golf Club of Texas. It is a perfect place to go. Golf Club of Texas, right there on Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. Whether it's for dinner at the Tin Cup or around with your buddies, your next tournament, or the NFL and college football, go check them out. Best rates always online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
The Morning Huddle.
The wrong ones were doing the questioning. Now, if those had been real fans sitting there, or if there had been people that knew what they were talking about, football people, I might have had a different answer.
So who is allowed? Who is allowed to question Jerry?
People who don't have the platform to do it. Real fans.
Real fans.
Yeah.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
911, what's your emergency?
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. In San Antonio, 5 domestic violence calls happen every hour.
The time to end domestic violence in our community is now.
Step out of violence.
You are not alone.
Call 211 for help. Call 911 if it's an emergency.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Jason Minnix here from the Blitz for Underdog Fantasy, the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while watching games. I love playing the Pick'em game where you choose higher or lower on player stats, especially this time of year with football. Obviously, basketball getting started, and right now, Underdog, they're running a special promo or bonus almost every single day like Profit Boost, where you can pump up your winnings in just a tap when you apply the boost to eligible entries, discounts where you'll get adjusted projections on certain player stats to give you a better chance at the win. Free picks, they're basically a sure thing. A player just has to get higher than 0.5 on that stat for that pick to win. All new users get a free pick, and it's boost over from now until October 27th. You can boost your profit on all NBA entries by 20%. Underdog is literally giving you unlimited profit boost to make basketball picks. Download the app, sign up with promo code STAR, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code STAR at Underdog Fantasy.
Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Man, what a Wednesday afternoon it has been. Thank you all for making time to join us today. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnix off. He is recovering, hopefully feeling better this afternoon. A little under the weather today, so we wish our best to Jason Minnix. Hope he gets well very, very soon. A lot going on in Cowboysville, that's for sure, as there always is. A lot going on in the NFL, period. It really has, because when you look at the trades that were made today, DeAndre Hopkins being traded from Tennessee to the Kansas City Chiefs, and my goodness, you talk about giving a weapon like that to Patrick Mahomes, a team that's already 6-0, and my goodness. You know, I think barring any kind of severe injury to the Kansas City Chiefs, and they've had a ton already, don't get me wrong, but you know what I'm talking about, the most important player on that football team. How do you bet against them to win their third straight? I mean, I know there's a lot of good teams in the AFC. The Baltimore Ravens are playing well. The Buffalo Bills are starting to get it done. The Houston Texans, I think they should be right there at the end. But man, you give Patrick Mahomes a weapon like DeAndre Hopkins, who is just a guy that is just going to catch the football and make plays. I mean, that's what he does. And they get him for a 5th-round pick, which could turn into a 4th-round pick depending on how he plays. And there are some incentives there. But it's just crazy. So we'll see how that works out. And I would assume they'll get him in the lineup really quick. And in fact, probably are they off this week, Kansas City? No, they do play this week. You're exactly right. So what do you got, Pledge?
Well, first of all, where are you going to go to get any players? Seriously, where are you going to go to get any players for the next week against San Francisco?
Well, I guess Tennessee would be one place to start. Maybe, I don't know, the waiver wire. The Texans picked up a linebacker today, Devin White, former Pro Bowler. That'd be a start. I don't know, maybe the Cleveland Browns, if you wanted Amari Cooper back. That could be a possibility, Jerry. I don't know. There are ways to be creative, I would assume, and get it done. You know, we got Stephen Jones on with us tomorrow. He missed last week because it was a bye week. Stephen Jones scheduled to join us tomorrow at 4:30. So we'll talk to him about some of the stuff that has been going on and see where that goes. And don't forget, the guys in the Morning Huddle have Mike McCarthy on Friday morning. So a lot to talk with Mike McCarthy about there as well. And the Blitz is live tomorrow at Little Woodrow's, by the way, out there on Braun Road, brought to you by Flight by Yingling. Looking forward to that, and it's all for you. You know, the fine folks at Flight by Yingling are always bringing a lot of goodies to these remotes that we do with them. But the best is the Dallas-Philadelphia game in Arlington. You can win tickets to that game November the 10th. Not just that, you can win tickets to the Bill Bates Ultimate Tailgate Party that day as well. So you go there, you have some drinks, a lot of food, get ready, go to the game. And that could be a big one depending on how the next 2 games for the Cowboys go. San Francisco this week, Atlanta the next week, both of those on the road, and then, of course, Philadelphia in Jerry World. So it's going to be interesting to see how the next 2 weeks play out. If they lose, will they blame the tourists that are coming into the Star at Frisco? That's a big question mark, because there's an article today, a very good one, I will say, just simply because the writer didn't add her opinion to this. She just let it speak for itself. Her name is Kaylin Kaler. And we had R.J. Ochoa from Blogging the Boys on a little bit earlier on the show, and he said that they interviewed her R.J. and Rob Thompson interviewed her at the Super Bowl in Radio Row this past February. And so she writes a good article, but she's got a lot of former Cowboys that are talking about what a distraction it is. And these Cowboys are talking about what a distraction it is, former Cowboys, I should say, because they're with other teams now, and the other teams don't have any kind of thing like this, apparently. Not during the week and during when the players are there. Had a caller on early in the show. Jesse was talking about this, said he just did this like last Tuesday. Took the tour. He paid the full price. I think it's $90 a person to do that, and you get a little gift bag. You get all this, and you get to talk to AI Jerry and ask him some questions. But he said the weight room, windows on the weight room are foggy. They're in that foggy kind, so you really can't see inside too much. But a lot of these players say that fans gawk at them, talk about them, and it all started back when Dalton Schultz left the Cowboys and went to the Houston Texans.
No, dude, it's just like there's people literally going on tours while you're lifting in the weight room, and they've got like a one-way mirror for people to like look at. Like it's a zoo, dude. There's people tapping on the glass, like trying to get people's attention as they're doing, power cleans or whatnot. And it's different. And I mean, that's the brand that they've built. That's what Jerry Jones likes. That's the way that they run things. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, you don't realize like how many eyeballs and how much that can maybe distract from, stuff just in the locker room, being in the facility, until you go somewhere else and you're like, holy crap, like, dude, there's none of that. This is also a really well-run organization in Houston.
Yeah, well, of course, and you're going to say that, and I get it, and I'm sure that it is. I'm not disparaging Houston. I just don't understand that really why it's such a distraction. I don't get it. To have fans walking through there, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I think this is just a rock-throwing thing against the Dallas Cowboys. And when it rains, it pours. But you have players like Dorrance Armstrong, who's now with the Washington Commanders. Kelvin Joseph, another one who's saying bad things about it. Dante Fowler Jr. is another one. And then there is Tony Pollard of the Tennessee Titans.
This is Tony Pollard, and you're listening to the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate that. Tony's going to be called on to do a little bit more these days with DeAndre Hopkins leaving. I think that the Titans are tanking. A lot of teams are tanking. The Raiders are one of them. But, I think any player, and I would love to have a conversation with Tony Pollard. Now, I would do most of the talking because Tony's a very quiet dude, and he doesn't talk a lot. But any of them, Fowler, any of these guys, Dalton Schultz, I would really – I don't understand, and if you guys want to help me with this, I would appreciate it, but I don't understand what the issue is. How is it a distraction to have fans parading through the facility while you're there either eating? Micah Parsons was playing with his daughter, according to some person that was in this particular article. He didn't seem distracted by it, and nobody messes with him. They have rules when you go on this particular tour where you can't go up to the players, you can't yell at them, but if they come up to you, then you can talk to them and take pictures with them, but they have to come up to you. And so I just don't see where it's a distraction, and I just think all of this being completely blown out of proportion, and it's just another rock to throw at Jerry Jones.
I mean, I think it's just a microcosm of one of multiple things that the Cowboys do that just amplify the situation and the scrutiny that they are under, because they're already just under a large magnifying glass in terms of popularity and things. But then they go out of their way to do more things to invite more distractions in. And you can deal with distractions, yes, but at some point there are too many to deal with, and then it just feels like the house is on fire. And I kind of feel like that's what it feels like right now in that locker room.
I would think so. I mean, even though, what's funny about that is, and it's just the way they've lost the three that they've lost, but they are 3-3. There's a lot of NFL teams that would like to be 3-3 at this point in time. And we all look at the Cowboys and say, man, they just suck and the season's horrible, but they're 3-3. And they're about to go to San Francisco, where they have not had much success, granted. But the 49ers are banged up. I don't know. So are the Cowboys. I'm not sure that they're going to get anybody back, named Micah Parsons anyway. They may get a few people back, but I would assume that Micah will probably miss this game and try to get ready for the Atlanta game. Don't know that yet, but he didn't practice today. So it's going to be a banged-up team against a banged-up team. So the Cowboys have an opportunity to win that game. I would give them a very good opportunity to win that game. And then Atlanta the next week. You don't know what Atlanta team's going to show up. Who's going to be playing quarterback? If Kirk Cousins has another disaster like he had last week, you might have Michael Penix playing quarterback when the Cowboys get there to Atlanta.
Will Bijan Robinson get touches?
Bijan Robinson, there's another one. And if you're playing the Cowboys, he would get about 30 if I was the Atlanta.
But there are times where Atlanta just forgets about him.
It's nuts how they do that. And they all last year. They did the same exact thing. So it's unbelievable. But we'll see. This is a big stretch, I think, for the Cowboys. And I don't think I'm overstating that. Honestly, I think these next two games mean a lot. Obviously, they're not must-win games, and if they go 3-5, the season's still not over. But I'm just saying, I think these next two games are huge for the Dallas Cowboys, and I think they, at worst-case scenario, need to split them. Win them both would be the best-case scenario, obviously, but if you split, yeah, you're still 4-4, and you're okay, and you still are right there. But I just think they're huge. Huge games coming up for the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm not buying this whole stuff. Although Mike McCarthy, on his press conference on Monday, kind of addressed it before this article came out.
You address them as a whole because it's all part of that external focus that, frankly, we need to move away from. Frankly, I mean, if anything, working here, the intensity of externals and potential distractions is high. That's part of our part of our operation. Green Bay was cold. I mean everybody has something that you have that's probably different than other places you work. So that's part of our norm. The external noise or pro or con. It's we prefer the pro, but it's part of working here, and it's part of our landscape.
Hearing that for the third, fourth time today, right? And I thought it was funny in the moment, but I just realized something. In Green Bay, it's the cold, right? But you can acclimate to the cold, and other people that come into the cold then have to adjust to that. The noise and distractions are only on the Cowboys. It's the opponents that come in don't have to deal with that ancillary noise and distraction. It's just more on the Cowboys themselves.
Think about the benefits, though, Pledge. Think about the season thus far. It was Tom Brady, right, that did the first three Cowboy games.
It was.
The number one team at Fox. Prime time.
But it was always Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
That's what I'm saying.
The number one team.
That's what I'm saying. So, look, you're going to get the primetime slot. They're on Sunday Night Football this week, and I know when that schedule came out, that looked like a really good matchup, San Francisco and Dallas. But right now, there are probably some better games that you might want to see on Sunday Night Football. If Jaden Daniels is healthy, love to see Jaden Daniels against Caleb Williams on Sunday Night Football. But that is a primetime matchup. That's a 3:25 window for that ball game. But I'm just saying, everything about the Cowboys, when you look and you watch the shows in the morning, the talk shows, they're talking about the Cowboys. It's always the Cowboys. So there are benefits with being a Dallas Cowboy football player, even though you have to maybe put up with some of the noise on the side. There are benefits to it. There are. And I think it's benefits, unless you're a Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City or Travis Kelce with the Swifties, you're getting more attention than anybody. And so it's just you give and you take, and you take the good with the bad, and that's what you have to do. But I just think this is a rock-throwing thing.
Is this the facts of life?
Facts of life. That is, right? The good with the bad. It's what we do. We had David Macias ask me a question on our YouTube page, and he says, Joe, would you guys like to be interrupted by blitzers while you're in prep? We are, especially when we're on remote, and I have no problem with it. The difference is, David, and it's a good question, but the difference is these guys, the tour is not Sunday morning before they're going to play Sunday afternoon. The tour is during the week when they are not practicing, but they're in the facility either eating or, as Micah Parsons was doing, playing with his daughter, or in there lifting weights. So it's really, they're not doing anything. They're not allowed in the film room. They're not allowed in meetings, team meetings, where guys are studying and going over stuff. So I mean, it's just through the facility where guys aren't really doing anything. And so I think it's just kind of it's a non-story to me, Pledge. It really is.
A picture of their draft board did get out.
Well, it did. And that happens, right? I mean.
Does it? I don't see it happening with other
Well,
teams.
I'd be surprised. I mean, look at our government right now. There are leaks all over the place. Things get out all the time. It happens, right? It happens. Pledge, I appreciate it.
It only seems to happen in Dallas, though.
I appreciate you, Pledge. I appreciate you very much today. Thank you. Thank you to everybody listening today, either on YouTube or however you're doing that out in your car or whatever app you're on. Thank you for hanging in here with us. Minnix, we'll check on him and see if he's going to be back tomorrow. But don't forget, the Blitz is live tomorrow. Come join us. Make plans. Little Woodrow's on Braun Road, brought to you by Flight by Yingling. A lot of cool stuff, including tickets to the Dallas-Philadelphia game in Arlington, November 10th, and the Bill Bates Ultimate Tailgate Party. Have a great Wednesday night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This